What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. It's draft time. It's over. We know what happened already. We made some predictions. I hope everybody tuned in to the live draft show. I've calmed down since then, by the way. Just saying, I've calmed down. But I'm joined, as always, by my main man, CJ. How we doing, brother?
All is well, man. I was just telling you guys before we went live. I just feel like this off season, this might be one of the best with the storylines, new teams, new QBs. It's going to be a great one.
And, of course, we are joined by our Packers aficionado, Wise Cheese. He was blue cheese on the NFL draft stream. How we doing, Matt?
We doing good right now. Starting off this fine Tuesday. May the 4th be with you. So
Facts.
far, so good. I mean, Rodgers' dilemma is still interesting, but there's still a slight sliver. But overall, so far doing good this Tuesday.
All right, we might be joined by some other people later on in the show, so be on the lookout for that as well. But before we get it started, as always, I got to pay the bills, baby. So if you're into the betting world, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag and use code USN100 to double that first deposit up to $1,000. If you want to bet on something, do it there. You could have bet on the draft. You can bet on baseball, obviously going on right now. We're about to get into the NBA playoffs. We're going to get into the NHL playoffs. We had the Kentucky Derby before this. So listen, there is plenty of things for you to bet on. And if you're going to, make sure you go over to MyBookie to do it. Next up, we got RX Hemp. RX Hemp-USN will save you 10% on your order. They have premium CBD creams over there, hot and cold therapy. So if you're feeling a little sore from life, go over there, get some CBD cream. You'll feel brand new. I might need it, bro. The shoulders, I hit the gym yesterday. It's feeling a little tough right now. But we're gonna grind. We're gonna make it through it.
Throw that RX on right now, man. Feel me? It's a good workout for you, bro.
I'm gonna have to. Next up, we have the Teespring store, teespring.com/store/unwrapped. Obviously, we funnel all of our merchandise through there. So if you want to support the network, or if you want to support any individual show that you like watching, you'll probably like this one. We have our merch as well, so go and check it out over there at teespring.com/store/unwrapped, as I said. And then finally is the Patreon, patreon.com/unwrappedsports. It is, listen, $1, you support the squad. You let us know you like what we do, and we appreciate you. $5, you get access to our Discord chat. You get 10% off that store I was just telling you about, and you get entered into an Amazon gift card giveaway each month. And then finally, the $10 tier is everything I just said, except that 10% discount goes for $20. And we got entered in to our signed memorabilia giveaway each month. Last month we did David Montgomery jersey. This month is a Ricky Williams signed miniature helmet. So make sure you go and check it out for sure. But with all of that being said, let's jump right into the topics, of course. And I think that what's on everybody's mind right now. Now, listen, we're going to get to the draft. We got plenty of draft coverage. That's what the whole show will be about. But we got to start off with this. I feel like we would be wrong if we didn't. Mr. Aaron Rodgers. He's a little upset. More and more reports keep coming out. There was some wide receiver they wanted him to keep a few years ago. They cut him. They fired the quarterback coach. He liked him. Now he wants the GM fired. He's telling teammates he's not coming back. He's telling coaches he's not coming back. The Packers are saying that they're not trading him. CJ, just give me your reaction to this whole Aaron Rodgers situation.
I got to start my man, Matt.
I was going to start with Matt, but I know how it's going to go, bro.
Yo, I mean, all right, I'll start it. I'll let Matt be the end.
Yeah, I need Matt as like that finale. That's like the last fireworks show. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's facts. I'll let Matt cap it off. It's just it's just weird, really. I was telling Matt this maybe like last week. I was just like, it's just a weird dynamic going on over there. Kumaro is like, I think trending or something like that, bro. Like, this guy is the guy that they cut. Obviously, Rodgers, he wasn't really that. I think I saw him make a couple plays here and there when he was there, but he wasn't really a factor. It's just a dynamic with the GM and Rodgers. I feel like, again, we said this before in previous episodes, if they had an owner, I think it'd be a totally different discussion, like we saw with Brady, Garoppolo, Belichick, and the Robert Kraft dynamic. Kraft, definitely stepped in that situation, was like, yo, we got to keep Tom. Ultimately kept Tom and went to 3 Super Bowls and won 2. So this situation is completely different, where they don't have an owner, they don't have a guy that's really has as much power. The GM, the president, they have they have the true power. So it's really Rodgers versus them. Gutenhuis, is that his last name? Gutengoose?
Gutenhuis?
I got
it's
idea.
Brian Good. No, it's Brian Gutekunst.
Okay, all right.
Just
Y'all can
short it
have
for
fun
Goot.
pronouncing that. I ain't
Just
saying
make it easier.
I will not say that name one time.
Connie, just simply say Goot. It's
right.
Gute. Just make it easier for you.
I'll call him Groot.
Brian G. You know, it just it's just weird over there. I mean, the situation. Rodgers is just. I mean, I guess it started last year when they drafted Jordan Love, and he didn't get any input on from the team. I think he found out on the McAfee show when they had their live draft last year, and it was kind of a shocker to him. I feel like you should have some say in that. Definitely. I mean, this is a guy that's been carrying your franchise for over a decade, and if you're going to bring a quarterback in, especially in the first round, where there was a time where they definitely needed some type of wide receiver help outside of Davante Adams, it would have been, I think it just would have been a smart gesture to just say, hey, call him up, we're getting that guy. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't really faze him throughout the season. Went out, had 48 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, won an MVP, was a, potential quarterback run away from, going to the Super Bowl. So, in the NFC Conference Championship game. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like they're going to have to come together and figure this out. I don't see him getting traded this season, just from a cap standpoint, from a money standpoint. I don't see him retiring. AJ Hawk came out yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. He said there's no chance that he's going to retire. I don't see him retiring. That would just be crazy.
What you mean, CJ? We got the next Alex Trebek out here,
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's nothing like being quarterback in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like he could always do that job. He could retire at 45, and that job would still be there. And it could look even better if he has more Super Bowls added to the resume. So, I just feel like he's not going anywhere this season. A couple weeks ago, we had a topic, whether or not he would be there for his career. I don't think so. But I do feel like this year he'll stay. They'll try to get him one more run, and if not, they'll try to see what possible teams will be interested. Because a year can change. We'll definitely see some teams that will definitely let go of their QBs and may have some potential assets in the draft that they want to give up and try to get Rodgers. So this year, they're going to keep him, and then next year we'll see what happens.
All right, Matt, I got to hear it.
Oh, you want me to hear? I thought it was gonna be the finale. All right.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'll cool it down after you light it up.
We'll let. Oh, okay.
Oh, and we got
let me
on the show as well.
I was gonna say let's first. You're just in time, Caleb. This spicy queso is about to blow. Okay. So what do I think of the Packers and Aaron Rodgers news? I feel like you could definitely make a case for both sides. You could make a case for Aaron Rodgers being upset, one, because he wasn't in the loop. You look at when the Bucs drafted Kyle Trask, Brady was right there. Front office let Brady know, hey, we're drafting Kyle Trask in the second round. And Brady said, okay, cool. I'll just have 8 or 9 rings by the time he's there. So don't matter. You then even hear when like CJ and Anthony mentioned with the Brady Garoppolo situation, Kraft had the power move and said, we're moving Jimmy. And that was that. Now you look at Rodgers, I can understand why he's upset. His favorite QB coach fired and he had no recollection of it. Jake Kumaro, I mean, granted, he wasn't a top receiver, but he was the guy that Rodgers loved. And like a day after praising him, gone, see you later. So I understand his frustrations. And then, of course, drafting Jordan Love last year was just a straight up disaster. I literally said, whatever you do, don't draft Love or else you'll poke the bear. And what the hell happens? He pokes the bear. I told my dad, I was like, yo, this is literally going to be all over sports news this whole season. And what happens? It's all over sports news. So I understand why Rodgers is upset. Now him wanting out, I think is ridiculous. Like CJ mentioned, the Packers cannot physically move on from him. If they were to trade him before June 1st, they would take on $38 million in dead cap space. I'm telling you right now, if I'm Green Bay, I'm not taking on $38 million in dead money. And then also, you look at the teams that Aaron Rodgers mentioned, why the hell would he want to go there? Green Bay is literally his best chance to win a Super Bowl. You mean to tell me he goes to Denver and they're going to be Super Bowl contenders? Please. They're not going to beat the Chiefs twice. Hell, they might not even beat the Chargers, bro. The Chargers are very much improved with Justin Herbert. The defense is going to be solid. Caleb's homeboy, Derwin James, is going to come back stronger than ever. And, the AFC West is tough. You got to look at even the rest of the AFC. They're not going to beat Baltimore. Hell, they might not even beat Cleveland. So if you're Denver, you're just going to be a wild card team, a 5th seed. Why would you want to go there? Even when you're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, bro, did you just see the Raiders draft? They're literally one of the worst teams drafting of all time.
And why does that surprise
Like even
you?
I could draft better than
you?
I can respect the Raiders one. Everything else, you kind of lost me there, Coach.
Well, you look at, and it's just a simple fact of how will they have the best chance to win? You won't be over the hump. Now, if he were to want to trade to San Francisco or New England, that could get you a Super Bowl. That could get you a win. But I feel like if he wants out and if he wants to go to Denver or Las Vegas, it's going to be the same result. He's not going to get a ring. If he stays in Green Bay,
ultimately, I think his best shot would be in Denver. They've got a pretty good defense, above average defense, in my opinion. Veterans and young guys mix in between the whole side of that. And then you look at their offense; they've got weapons. They have weapons. It didn't necessarily work out the past few years. Trying to bring in a new quarterback. For years, you have different quarterbacks, and you can't get any continuity. But then you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who you don't even need to have that continuity between, playmakers and quarterback, because this guy is already up to speed on whatever is thrown his way. Look at Tom Brady. He didn't have to get used to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He did it throughout a, off season. Give him an off season with him. But you're telling me right now he would not be able to compete with Denver in that situation with what they have right now. There's absolutely no question in my mind that they would be able to do that. So I understand about that. I understand you saying Green Bay. I mean, that is what you're saying.
Well, no. When Brady went to Tampa, he already had 2 top 10 receivers because Evans and Godwin, they're both top 10 receivers. Denver, they don't got a top 10 receiver. Cortland Sutton is wide receivers. Well, you can have good wide receivers, but they're not going to be a team that's going to be feared in the AFC.
I'll tell you what, they got a more balanced wide receiver group than Green Bay has.
I don't know. Green Bay's got a decent receiving core, not the worst, but
yeah. But you're looking at one star and then a couple of okay guys. There in Denver, you've got a well balanced wide receiver group.
I can see that, but I just feel like the division
and not
is
only
tougher
not only that, but like CJ
West.
said, you got Fant too going over the middle.
Well, yeah, you got Fant. Green Bay also had Tanya. He had 10 touchdowns. #, Pro Bowl snub right there.
Yeah. So I mean, that's.
All I'm trying to say is if Rodgers still wants to win a ring, his best chance is with Green Bay. Granted, we were a 1 seed last year, and we did kind of shit the bed against Tampa. I will be honest; it was a disaster.
Kinda.
You mean to tell me you pick out Brady 3 times, they'll get 6 points? That's unacceptable on all sides. But you look at if you're
mostly the offense.
Yes, exactly.
Which is run by who?
Which is
Your
pretty much run by
Aaron Rodgers.
Which is run by Aaron Rodgers. Which is why I'm stating if he were to go to Denver, they're not a team to beat in the AFC, even with Rodgers. You're still going to fear the Chiefs more. You're still going to fear Buffalo, Baltimore, Cleveland. Then you get to Denver.
I can't disagree with that.
But if Rodgers stays in Green Bay, you look at what teams can really beat Green Bay in the NFC. Obviously, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is pretty much bringing back the same team. You got San Francisco because Kyle Shanahan basically knows Matt LaFleur like a book. And then there's Green Bay. Like you look at, we're still we're still one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. If you're Rodgers, I understand your frustration with the front office. Trust me, I'd be upset as well. But why would you want to go somewhere else where your best chance to win it is possibly with Green Bay? And you're going into an offensive system, which you already know. Like, Aaron Rodgers knows Matt LaFleur's system. We saw that second year with his MVP run. So if I'm Rodgers, I understand why he's upset. But I just feel like this just play out this last year. One last ride, one last go, and see what happens. If you win a Super Bowl, maybe think about staying, but this pretty much seals the deal. This is going to be his last year in Green Bay. Now, if they win a Super Bowl, could be a different story, but anything less than a Super Bowl, he's pretty much going to be out the door. And one thing that I will say about the news, it's all smoke and mirrors. Until Aaron Rodgers himself says it in front of live TV, all the news is just runaway news. It was literally the same thing. I
was going to bring that up because everything that we're hearing, even from insider sources within the Green Bay organization, are saying that there's less than a 5% chance that Aaron Rodgers plays another snap for Green Bay. So that's where I'm very skeptical about it. I hear it from everybody, and that it's not only from the main news media, but also the people who are inside. So I don't know really what's going on. I just feel it draws comparisons. It draws comparisons to Brett Favre, but Brett Favre was threatening. Let me finish. Brett Favre was threatening retirement for years. I know. I understand that. We all understand that, but it still draws those comparisons to where you put the pressure on somebody to do that, and then by drafting Jordan Love, you pretty much are doing the same thing that you did to Brett Favre, but Brett Favre was kind of already over it. He was I'm going to retire, but he never did.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Hold on. You know what I would really like to compare right now? Everybody's opinions to Nick. Nick, how you doing, my guy? First of all, and second of all, what are your thoughts on this little Aaron Rodgers craze going on right now?
I'm doing all right, man. I know I pulled up a little late, so I was
right. No, I hopped on right before you, Nick. You're good, baby.
I appreciate that, man. And my opinion on it is honestly, I feel like the turmoil is too strong between Rodgers and the organization for him to really remain there. I mean, just like you said, I know it's all hearsay. It's all speculation around the league and within the front office and all that. But it's I feel like the Packers did too much to disrespect him within the past few years. Even that receiver Jake Kumaro, who he had super high praise for, they ended up cutting him or trading him, and I feel like that was a slap in the face to him. Because I mean, you're Aaron Rodgers, you need weapons. You see a receiver and you're already speaking highly of him as is, and then they go ahead and cut him or trade him, or I forgot what they did with him, but he ended up on Buffalo last year.
They cut him.
So, but yeah, I just feel like it's just too much turmoil within that organization. It's even when McCarthy was head coach, it was turmoil then within him in the front office, and it's they switched the coach. They got a new coach, and you thought everything was going to be good. Oh, the Aaron Rodgers shit is in the past now, but I mean now it's it's really coming to the forefront where it's it's really as serious as it's ever been talked about before.
What do you think? I think it all started I think everything was fine up until the point where they drafted Jordan Love, and I guess they did not relay that message to Aaron.
I think it started before that.
Go in that direction.
Nah,
you think it started before that?
It definitely was turmoil within the organization when McCarthy was the head coach.
I'll jump in on what Nick said about Mike McCarthy. I like to call him Big Mac because he was there 2 years too long. When we got blown out to the Atlanta Falcons in that 2016 NFC Championship game, he should have been canned out the door. He should have been out the door from the start. And so sometimes I even dream to this day, what if we just fired McCarthy and brought in Sean McVay instead? What could have been? But, that did not happen. And, it's just a situation to where, you could see both sides. Now, one thing I will say, I cannot stand what Brian Gutekunst said. And CJ, I will say your pronunciation the first time was one of the weirdest things I ever said. Gutekunst. That was the weirdest.
I still can't say it. I still can't say it.
Yeah, so
Hey, man.
I can't believe Brian Gutekunst, one of the weirdest people that I've ever heard of all time. I can't believe with the straight face he said, "Oh, you know, we wanted to trade up with the 22nd pick to try to get Justin Jefferson, or Brandon Ayuk, but you know what? I'm just gonna be a fucking buffoon here. Let me take Jordan Love with the third string QB." I'm just like, that does not help your case, pal. That's why Roger says he wants you gone. Why the fuck would you trade up? I understand if you miss on Jefferson or Ayuk. I can understand that. But why you take a third string quarterback?
Well,
Take
he's not bad
Patrick
at being
Queen.
your third string quarterback,
You're
though.
spending your first round pick on a quarterback like that's crazy. to
Yeah,
me.
I know.
Matt,
I
don't
don't
get me wrong.
understand
He was your
that.
third string quarterback last year, correct?
That boy didn't even suit up.
No,
He was a
didn't suit
third
up
stringer
at
and
all.
didn't even suit up.
I
He
mean,
looked like
didn't
me.
have to.
Bro, he didn't suit up at all, not one time. But that third string quarterback about to become your quarterback. Because
Well, one thing that I will say about this whole situation is, one, it better get resolved. It better get solved one way or the other, whether it's Rodgers being traded or Rodgers staying. Better be solved. And two, Jordan Love, you better be ready, pal, because if you're not living up to the hype, boy, I'm gonna boo the fuck out of you watching television, dude. It's gonna be ridiculous. You better be ready to play, fool. All right, you better be this next Patrick Mahomes BS, because if you're not, I'm telling you, the whole city of Green Bay and their fans are gonna be coming at you, pal. So be ready.
yeah, I think I'm on the whole bandwagon that everybody else is besides Matt, because he still deep down really needs
Of
Rodgers
course.
in his life. And listen, Matt, you know what? I would try to make fun of you or something like that, but I feel your pain, bro.
I know, man. You felt that
Like,
with Brady.
Like
You literally grew up. You literally
didn't
grew
believe-
up. You
I'm
grew up
with
with
you,
him, and he
bro.
was your father.
I'm
Like,
with it.
call you
I'm with
Father
you,
Tom.
bro. I'm with you for the simple fact that I was like, Brady's not leaving. Everybody's talking out their ass. He's not leaving. And then it came out. He said, "Yeah, he's not coming back." I said, he's not leaving. He signs with the Bucks. I said, April Fools, right? Come on,
Come on, baby.
man.
Come
Suits up
to the
man,
promised
suits up for the
land.
Bucks. But listen, I think I agree.
It's a little
weather,
different though. It was
the
situation was a
water.
little different though.
Listen,
At least-
now,
hey,
the grass
hey,
was
Anthony-
greener over there in Tampa. Let me tell
Anthony,
you. But
at least,
Oh, it's
at least,
beautiful. It's beautiful out
least-
here in Tampa.
at least New England didn't do Tom Brady dirty. Green Bay been slashing Rodgers.
But
for
I don't-
years.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
season
about
New
that.
New England, they keep everything to the best.
No,
But I think
bro,
that, no,
but
I
even then,
kind
they
of think,
kind of did Brady dirty
that's
because
what I was gonna say. I was absolutely
But
gonna say
not-
that. I absolutely
not
think
as-
did him dirty because you
not-
think
not as
Tom
bad
Brady
as
didn't
Rodgers.
want the weapons that he has in Tampa Bay right now.
you think they wanted. You think Brady wanted them to draft Jimmy Garoppolo?
Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Listen. I had
Well, hey,
many.
at least
I
he was in
had
the
many
second round.
nicknames for Jimmy Garoppolo when he was our starting quarterback. We had Garoppolo,
But
Garoppolo.
the thing was, we didn't trade
But
up.
nothing.
We
Hey,
didn't trade up.
hey,
to
nothing.
get
No,
Garoppolo.
nothing beats porn
Just
star
happened to be
Jimmy
there.
though.
Oh yeah.
Garoppolo just happened to be there in the second round. We didn't trade.
You're
up
right.
To
You're
get.
right.
Yeah, but still, I mean, look at what Tom Brady was able to walk into. You know, like like the weapons were there. He was set. Like he's never
Locked
had
in-
weapons like that. He's
locked
never
in,
had weapons. Look at Tom Brady's career at New England.
Randy
Yeah,
Moss for a
He's
season.
never had that
Right.
wide receiver talent.
Locked in,
You
locked
can
in
you
at
can
two.
you can argue that, but then you look at what Tampa's able to put on the field next to Tom Brady and Chris Godwin, like you had mentioned before, Anthony.
Bro, it might
Mike
be the best
Evans.
receiving core of all time.
And then
Yeah,
like a
locked
slew of number 3 wide receivers. You could put Scotty Miller there. You could put AB there at number 3. It didn't matter. Like Tampa Bay was already stacked, and then you add Tom Brady, and then he brings in Leonard Fournette on a 1-year prove-it deal. He brings in
And
LaShawn
Gronk, too.
McCoy
Don't forget
just to
my
get
boy
LaShawn
Gronk.
McCoy. Just to get LaShawn. I'm
Yeah,
not.
Gronk.
Wait, I'm going through the running backs right now, baby. Chill. But he brings LaShawn McCoy in, gets LaShawn McCoy a ring, another one, his second. Because
Wow,
that's what
back
LaShawn
on
McCoy
Drake.
wants, his rings. That's all LaShawn McCoy cares about. He wants his rings.
Yeah.
That's cool.
First round.
And then, last but not least, Gronkowski out of retirement. Oh, come play for us.
But everybody
that's
loves
fine.
Gronk though.
Yeah, and it worked out perfectly because I mean, if you look at their roster, they've actually got 3 tight ends that are probably number 1 tight ends.
Yeah.
number one tight ends at
Oh,
another
yeah.
team in the
A
NFL.
lot of teams would love to have. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So you could put
so
OJ
you're
Howard
sitting there
on,
saying, like,
90%
Tom
of the
Brady.
teams.
Tom Brady had no other choice. Ultimately, he was like, "I'm either gonna stick around for this bullshit that I got going on in fucking New England, or I'm gonna go down to Tampa where it's beautiful. I'm gonna end up retiring in probably about 3-4 years,
Or he could have gone to the
and
Chargers too.
I'm gonna win
He
another
could've gone to
Super
the Chargers
Bowl
at the
to
time.
3 Super Bowls, and he won a Super Bowl in his first year. Like he knew what he was doing. Aaron Rodgers is trying to create that because he knows he can go and do something like Tom Brady does because he's got that respect amongst the league, not just the Green Bay Packers. He's got the respect amongst the league to be able to go and do that and state
Well,
where
yes.
he's going.
Yes, he definitely has the respect, but I'm just saying, depending on what team he goes to, it's going to be hard. Like Tampa was already set in stone. Once Brady got to Tampa,
Right,
we
but that's
knew they were
why-
gonna
that's
be
why
the
I
teams
say-
to beat in the NFC.
Right, but that's why I say Denver's a good
If
landing spot for him.
It
Them
is-
or the Saints.
it is,
You
a
look
good-
at the
it is a good
Saints or
landing
you
spot.
look at Denver.
Well, listen,
Saints
hold
don't
on,
have the cap
everybody.
space for it to
Yeah,
work.
that's-
Take a breath. We'll take a
that's the
breath
only thing.
because that's my next question for the people out there. We obviously know the list that Aaron Rodgers had. Came out, the Raiders, the Broncos. I believe there was one other team that I can't remember right now.
You're
but
right with
whatever. I think those are the two main spots he would have went anyway. So you know what, Nick? Let me start with you on this one. Where do you think the best landing spot is for Rodgers? And it doesn't have to be those. It doesn't have to be the people, the teams on his list. We can play a little fantasy football here, a little Madden franchise mode here. Where are you putting Aaron Rodgers?
Where am I putting them? Like, oh man, I mean, to me, it's just like the Saints makes the most sense to me because it's like they have all the pieces. Like on defense, they may be lacking a couple pieces, but like front line linebackers, I feel like they're okay. And like, bro, like Aaron Rodgers makes that team a Super Bowl contender like immediately again. So it's like that's all they're missing. It's like Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill is not gonna do it for you. Like no matter who plays quarterback there, it's like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on, like you're going right back to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers on New Orleans, in my opinion. I mean,
Caleb, what you think?
I do agree with Nick on the fact that the Saints are definitely a destination that could be that option for Aaron Rodgers and moving forward. I disagree with Nick on the fact that Jameis Winston can't be the quarterback for the Saints. I think he definitely can be. You'll see I got my nose stuff on, and obviously I'm gonna back my nose. But if you look at Jameis Winston's track record outside of his time in Tampa Bay, where he had to go through a huge shuffle of all kinds of different problems, whether it's bad coaching from head coach down to offensive coordinator, all the way
Stealing
to
Brody
picks.
not hold on. I'm not done making my point. You guys can give your shit later because I know it's gonna come. LASIK surgery.
I just want to point out one thing before you continue. If you look at his career outside of Tampa Bay, there isn't one. One doesn't exist yet. He's only played in Tampa, bro.
And I'm saying going back to his college days,
Oh,
and,
now this.
like knowing being able to watch Jameis Winston. I know you guys did, and I know you guys watched Jameis Winston.
Well, listen, I
Like,
don't know about me. I didn't watch much college football back.
That's
then.
fine.
My man,
Okay,
my
okay,
man
whatever,
Caleb's
whatever. Let me
preaching the
continue.
gospel of Jameis. Chronicle
I
versus
will,
Jameis
and I always
Winston
will
verse
because I saw
316.
amazing things that this guy was able to do. Like if you watched him in college, you were able to see the amazing things that he was able to do outside of off the field problems, obviously. But you see what this guy was able to put on tape, on film, on the football field. Guy lost one game his entire high school and college career ever to Oregon. And that was a bad game. It was a really bad game.
Tough
and
game.
it looks bad. But from high school to college, that was the one game that he ever lost his career. So it was a culture shock coming into Tampa Bay. It was not a very good team, not very well head coach. And, trying to build around that and be the guy, it's a lot of pressure on a guy who is not used to losing, and then he loses. And he loses not only once, but over and over and over again. And your team,
A lot of losses there.
it's a culture shock. You're not going into a winning program a winning mentality that has a structure for you to win. You know, in high school he did because he was just better than everybody. That's what he created at his high school. You know, there in Bessemer, Alabama. And then you go to Florida State. That winning culture is already starting to be set because Jimbo Fisher has just taken over. He's just probably had one of the greatest years in 11 to 10 or 10 to 11 years at Florida State. And then Bobby Bowden was forced out and Jimbo takes over. And Jimbo started building this culture with the 2012 team that had some dogs on it. You think about Telvin Smith, Terrence Smith, all those like dogs that used to play on that defense there. And it was just like, you walk into a winning situation, you're able to win because you're a winner. When you're
who's
a winner,
Caleb?
I'm not trying to make excuses, but the one thing I can say about Jameis is his mentality is very weak. If he can have a stronger mentality when it comes to, you know, persevering through the perseverance, then he can be a great quarterback. I believe that he can do. I believe that he can do that. So I think he can be the quarterback of the Saints. But I do agree with Nick saying that that is a destination that is ready to win now, where you can fit Aaron Rodgers in and they can compete. But on the opposite side of that, you are going into the toughest division in football probably right now to be able to do that.
You think more than the NFC West?
Probably not the West. Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm not talking about Rams, Rams, 49ers, everybody fucking else in that division. Seahawks, everybody, dude, it's just ridiculous. But probably the second hardest, you know, if you were ultimately to come down to it. It's a really hard division to get out of right now. The Falcons are trying to retool that offense, score even more points than they can, hopefully shore up their defense. So it'll be interesting to see in that division. But that would be a nice spot for Rodgers to go if he really wanted to compete.
CJ, let me hear it.
Denver seems like the best place right now. Again, like I said, when we first started the show, we'll see what happens next year. It could potentially be a possibility for some openings, depending on the quarterback play. If Miami, if Tua doesn't work out, you know, Miami could definitely be a spot. Obviously, being a Pats fan, definitely don't want to see Rodgers twice a year. But
bro, you shitting me?
yeah, you being nobody wants to see that. But in terms of what they have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, and you know, if the Packers obviously they believe in Jordan Love, so they wouldn't need two in that package, but they could get that type of deal. Try to get Rodgers. Denver seems like the best spot. Vic Fangio, defensive-minded head coach at the helm. Rodgers could kind of, you know, be the guy on the offense, you know, be the play caller, do his thing. They have some talented weapons on the outside with Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. Running back, they got rid of Phillip Lindsay, but they still have Melvin Gordon. They just drafted Javonte Williams, I believe, from North Carolina. So that's somebody that they look to be their potential bell cow out there in Denver. So I think that could be that's to me that's the spot. Las Vegas. I feel like and also it's also a good spot because we've seen John Elway be able to persuade the older quarterback, look at Peyton Manning, go to Denver and pretty much just put the defense around them and just put talent around them. And, you know, they went to 2 Super Bowls and got 1. So and Rodgers is definitely more talented and younger than when Peyton was there and doesn't have the injuries that Peyton had when he first got to Denver. So and we saw what Peyton did. I mean, his first few years there, 55 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So just imagine if they had that situation over there with Rodgers, it could be scary. But that division is tough. You got 2.
They don't have that defense that Peyton had when he was on Denver.
It's not
still nice though.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, but it's good.
Von Miller's aging. Like they talk about, they might even cut him. Like they, you know, I mean,
Bradley Chubb.
Isn't he battling a case too, Von Miller? Like
he got some things. He got some things going on. He got some things going on, but I still feel like their defense is.
I mean, Bradley Chubb obviously he's a.
They just signed. They signed Fuller too.
Yeah, they got Fuller. They just drafted Surtain.
Chris Harris, right?
Yeah, Chris Harris has been gone.
He's been gone.
Yeah, that's fine. They drafted Surtain.
Yeah, they drafted Surtain and got Fuller. So
and they got Fuller.
They got Justin Simmons out there in the secondary, so they're good. They're good. Defensively,
They're locked up. They're locked up outside.
Yeah,
I'll
they
tell you all that.
No, they got corners for
You got,
days.
yeah, I was gonna say, boy, Denver ain't allowing passing.
And they
at
low key
all.
got one of the better safeties in the league too.
Yeah, and Justin Simmons, exactly. And
Yeah.
Simmons. So they're. I mean, that's to me. That's the only spot. Again, like I said, that division that would make that division. We just talked about the NFC West. The AFC West would be head and shoulders above, in the AFC, the best for sure. Probably.
All it takes is one move.
Yeah.
One move.
For sure. And those Broncos Chiefs games would be extremely entertaining. Same thing with the Chargers and the Broncos as well. So I think that's the best spot other than Green Bay. I agree with Matt when he said in the NFC. I mean, Saints, but I mean, I don't think. The cap space is a problem. I think it opens up after next year, so they'll be able to do some things in terms of that. But I think he would. I don't know with New Orleans. I feel like in the NFC, obviously not San Fran. You saw Kyle Shanahan even was trying to inquire about it right before the draft. Like, is this for real? Like, because wanted to make a move.
I mean, but at the end of the day, you take on that. You know, you take on whatever you have to pay to be able to get a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. So
sure.
That's kind of, where I think myself and Nick are coming from, because you don't get an Aaron Rodgers. I love Jameis. I could see Jameis being the quarterback for the Saints, but at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers, you take him.
Yeah, it'd be a great spot. It'd be a great spot for Rodgers. Sean Payton's a great play caller. You saw what he did with Drew Brees. They're able to put up points. Again, that would be competitive as well. Look at Saints Bucks with Rodgers and Brady twice a year.
Crazy.
Twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, just like
And
how we saw last year.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, and Matt Ryan.
Well, there'll be a lot of points in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be some shootouts. There'll be some shootouts.
Maybe a lot of scoring.
That's a solid 45, 42.
Yeah, it'll definitely be some
It'll be exciting
games.
though.
Yeah, there'll be some exciting games. So. There's some options. There's some options there for Rodgers other than Green Bay, but it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate how this has really turned into something really sour.
I kind of want to ask: was anybody really surprised? Because I felt like even when that happened, when Rodgers took over for Favre and was not forced in, but I want to say forced in, like he was just and then I at that moment I thought it's gonna happen to him too. I don't know if anybody else thought that when that happened all the way back then, but I thought that was Green Bay's thing. Like they just replace.
The only thing that I'm surprised with is the timing of it. I'm surprised it came out hours.
Right. Yeah, so you're not surprised at the fact that
I wasn't surprised at the situation. I understand the situation. It's just the timing of it.
This man took pettiness to the next level, and I appreciate that. Rodgers annoys me. He does. But that pettiness was 10 out of 10. Because they screwed him on draft day. And then the next year on draft day, he said, yeah, gotcha, bitch. And said something, and the man is basically it's great
because they went off that NFC Conference Championship game where he didn't play great, and then that season he only had 24 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns. So that's how they looked at it. That was from their perspective.
Right. But and then you look back at their perspective too, and it's like, what do you do with a great quarterback? I feel like we've talked about this a ton, especially in Unwrapped, and when you have a quarterback that is going to be a Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady's, Drew Brees, and all these teams are doing things and they listen to their quarterback. This is what I need. This is what I want. These are the players that I want you to draft. And they listen to their quarterback and they win. Green Bay has never done that with Aaron Rodgers. And that goes back to the guy you guys were talking about earlier, Matt and Nick. Both of you guys mentioned the same name earlier about the guy that they released. And it's like, you're not listening to your franchise quarterback who is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Absolutely. You guys he deserves that right. I had mentioned that the other day. The only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that ultimately deserve it, you can maybe throw a third in there, Mahomes, is Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Right.
Even Mahomes got the
Right, and I'm
he's like
saying
bringing
Mahomes
Hilaire.
is, right, and Mahomes is already being able to control what he does. Aaron Rodgers never got that chance. Green Bay is really, excuse my language, fucking up in what they're deciding to do with their quarterbacks. Because even if you're Jordan Love and you're like, I'm a good ass quarterback, I'm going to be successful. What is going to change? Brett Favre never got what he wanted in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers never got what he wanted when he was here for 12, 13 fucking years. Now I'm going to do the same thing.
It was 16.
No
It's
quarterback for the
ridiculous.
Packers has ever played for 17 seasons. You know that?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Hard,
I just don't understand how you can. That's whoever said disrespect. Who said disrespect earlier?
We all
I
did.
probably did. I mean, it is disrespectful.
We all
It's disrespectful.
threw in the middle
It's disrespectful as fuck to Aaron Rodgers.
100%.
Well, listen, I want to move on to
Yeah,
the
definitely.
draft coverage. So I just want to real quick.
Wait, hold on. Can I add one more thing? So
Yeah, real quick.
for
let's
certain
get it.
teams that real quick for a certain team that I would want to see Rodgers play for. It pains me to say this, but I'd love to see him with Bill Belichick and New England Patriots. I'd love to see what
wouldn't
he'll be
last
able to
5
do.
minutes
I
there.
feel like
You would yell at him.
I
and he'd
feel
cry.
like-
Yeah,
no,
I don't see how that would
I
work.
don't think he will.
It would fucking pain
Like
me to see that.
here's
how much they
here's the
would piss
thing,
each other
CJ. Here's the thing, CJ. I love the points that you mentioned about the Denver Broncos, but this is a different AFC West than it was with Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning showed up in Denver, it was pretty much Denver and Kansas City. And that was about it. The Chargers stunk and the Raiders stunk. Now it's essentially just the Raiders stink. The rest of the other teams are pretty damn good, pretty good playoff contenders. So
Yeah, but
as much as I love Rodgers,
you would
to
take
see
the
it
Broncos or
in
the
Denver.
Chargers? You would take the Broncos or the Chargers if they had Rodgers.
I would take the Chargers. I'm gonna keep it a bug.
Okay, and then you
Wait.
I mean,
If the Broncos had Aaron Rodgers, no way. I'm taking.
if the
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over
Broncos, here's the thing: if the Broncos
Right, exactly.
have Aaron Rodgers,
Bro, that
I think
Chargers
it's going to
team is
go
different.
Chiefs, Broncos, and the Chargers are just underneath. But it's one of those where it's neck and neck. That's why I stated if somebody wants to get Aaron Rodgers, it has to be a team that's willing to win the Super Bowl now, because you're going to mortgage off 3 years of your future, 3 first-round picks to at least get them. So if you know damn
nuts.
well you can win a Super Bowl within 3 years, go for it. If you're New England, if you know you can win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, go for it.
I mean,
if you're a team- hell,
one word for you. One word for you.
If the
Elway.
Saints,
yeah, that's what exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, he has that.
Yeah.
He has that
Hey,
way to
let's
persuade
see.
those guys.
let's see what kind of swagger Elway has, because I bet you what Elway went to
Yeah.
pay is like, hey Manning, I got more rings than you. You want to try to get a second one? Come to Denver. You might
Yo,
say the same
let me
conversation
tell-
with Rodgers, like,
my-
hey
Exactly.
Raj,
It's the
Yo,
same
I got
exact
more
This
rings
is
than
coming
you.
out of left field. It's
Come
coming
to
out of left
Denver and I
field.
can
The
help
same
you.
exact conversation.
Coming out of left field, but let me tell you, a team underrated that would be great for Aaron Rodgers. And I just want to see the reaction for this one. Give me the Washington football team. You put Aaron Rodgers with
Yo,
Terry
Terry, yeah.
Terry, little Curtis Samuel.
You said
Hey,
Giants
they're
too.
winning the
You throw
NFC
Giants in
East.
there.
They're winning the NFC East.
Oh well, that's not hard.
You could throw the Giants in there.
I'm a Heineke stan, bro. Like I'm
You put
all
Aaron
about-
Rodgers in that front
I'm all
seven as
about-
well.
No.
I love the Heineke train, bro. Like he
You
Wanna-
just love
you wanna-
Heineken, Caleb. You like Heineken.
Hey, you want to know what I want to see again? I want to see this again. I'll be crying, laughing. If he goes to the Cowboys and gets reunited with
Oh.
Big Mac again, that's gonna be laughable.
Well,
He doesn't
He
know
gets
trade
reunited
no
with him
way.
again.
That won't
I
happen.
can see the Giants.
Oh,
I can see
I
the
know.
Giants
I
Dak,
too.
know.
you know, Dak just signed a fucking fat ass contract, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Doesn't he have
I
no
know.
trade
I know.
clause
But
anyway?
yeah, he does.
Yeah, so he would just said, "Yeah, you
Yeah, he
want to
does have a
reunite with Big Mac? Yeah, goodbye." But anyway, listen, we'll table the Aaron Rodgers conversation. We'll save it for another time. I'm sure it'll continue going on, but I want to get into the draft. That's another thing that we're here for, people. So,
Word.
2021 NFL draft. You know what? Obviously, a lot of stuff went on in that draft. I'm gonna pull up the whole first round right here. We got all the picks. So I'm gonna just go down the line right now. I'm gonna go down the line as the way it is on my screen. So I'm gonna start with you, CJ. Just give me your reaction to the draft. And then, you know what? Give me your biggest surprise as well.
Thought it was a good draft. I think thought every team got some pretty solid guys. Think that I got to give credit to the Bears being aggressive, moving up from 20 to 11 and going to get Justin Fields. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy to try to get a guy in the center for them to try to get that franchise quarterback. Obviously, didn't work out with Trubisky, so I definitely respect that. Lance, there was so much talk about whether it would be Lance or Jones, and it looked to be obviously Shanahan and John Lynch. They went with Lance. They feel like it's going to be Garoppolo right now, and then once he's ready, they'll throw Lance in there. So I think it was a good move for them. The one surprise you could say Leatherwood, even though they do need some offensive line help for Las Vegas. You know, they lost their center, they lost their tackle and their guard. So getting a guy like Leatherwood, he's a good run tackle. Obviously, they're going to be running the ball with Josh Jacobs, so I can see that. I feel like they could have potentially got him in a second and try to get maybe a receiver or something like that for Carr, but you never know what to expect when it comes to the Raiders in draft night. So I like what Baltimore did, getting Bateman, getting that number one. That's what we talked about last week in terms of trying to get Lamar a number one wide receiver. Hopefully he could be that guy. And then going also from that Kansas City pick when they traded for Orlando Brown and getting Josh Owe to be that Matt Judon replacement. So I like what the Ravens did. The Jets, I like what the Jets did as well. They completely did the exact opposite of what they did with Sam Darnold. They put some pieces around him. Got Elijah Vera Tucker is probably going to be the guard for them. For the Jets, Zach Wilson. We'll see. Mike LaFleur, Matt's brother, is the offensive coordinator. So we're going to see how that plays out. And
Michael Carter
running back, exactly. And I feel like they got a receiver, Elijah Moore, from Ole Miss as well. So I like the moves New York did. I think it was a good draft all around. I mean, I feel like everyone got key needs that they and really good talent on top of that. So I mean, we'll break down some more moves, but I thought it was a good draft overall.
Now, Caleb, it's your turn, and before I let you go, we're gonna also break down our favorite team's draft as well. So I'm gonna throw the challenge out there to leave your team out for this little part of it. Bring some highlights to the other people. But Caleb, what'd you think of the draft, and obviously your big surprise of the day?
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna go towards Tampa Bay in this draft.
No, it wasn't towards you. Don't worry. I just had to throw it out there.
I feel like I know who it's towards.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Listen, stop causing trouble, Caleb. Okay. It wasn't towards nobody.
Oh, I'm not trying to. But I have to agree with CJ. I think Chicago is the real winner of this draft. Just moving up a little bit, going up, getting Justin Fields, getting the return that you got along with that in terms of what you gave up. Looks extremely good on your part. Justin Fields has been high on a lot of other people's radars that everybody else is dropping him down. So hit or miss here, you get to let them sit. So that's ultimately the big reason why I see them being winners, because you get to let them sit behind a veteran quarterback in Andy Dalton, who a lot of people want to hate on Andy Dalton, but you forget the guy's been to 3-4 Pro Bowls. He is a legitimate veteran quarterback. He might not be the greatest, but he was good for what he was given in Cincinnati. In Cincinnati, you're a small market team. You don't really get all the hoo-haws and the bling blings and whatever else you want to get from being in a big market. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but you don't get all that. You don't get all that from the big market teams. And being in Cincinnati, being able to do what he was able to do, this guy knows the game very well. He might have not had the season that he was expecting to have last year with Dallas, but getting into a new organization, some climate that he is used to, Cincinnati, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, can kind of mesh here and there between it, and just get back to himself. I just think he was kind of pressured last year with what was going on and wasn't necessarily ready for it. Now he's got a whole time to prepare. And, like I said, Andy Dalton is an ultimate vet, in my opinion. Like, you look at Andy Dalton, he's like, that's a vet. That's some guy you want to really pick his brain. He might not be the greatest, but he's going to catch you up to speed on the game. And then you can let your athleticism and talent show out from there. And I think that's a great aspect for, Justin Fields to be put into at this point in his career. Moving on from there, looking at maybe a surprise for me is it's not necessarily a surprise, but I just don't know why it happened, is why the Bengals took Jamar Chase at 5.
Ooh,
I was screaming. I was like, what are you doing? Especially after seeing what your offensive line. I know they got some guys. I know they got some guys later in the draft, but you have the chance to take the best offensive tackle who is just
you literally took the words out of my mouth, because that's the exact sentiment I was going towards.
I just don't understand.
I mean, I
understand listening. I understand listening to your franchise quarterback, right? But we talk about that with Rodgers. We talk about that with Brady. We talk about Drew Brees. We talk about Mahomes, things of that nature. Joe Burrow's been there a year, not even a whole year, because he was knocked out in the second half of the season because you couldn't protect his ass. And then you go out here and listen to your franchise quarterback tells you to draft his best friend. Cool, that's great and all, but you know how deep this wide receiver class is?
Exactly.
Apparently you don't understand how deep this wide receiver class is to be able to take an offensive tackle that is heads and above everybody else in the offensive tackle class. You can maybe put Rashawn Slater up there, but after those two, nobody's even close to be able to protect a quarterback the way that Joe Burrow needs to be protected, because he was running all over the damn field last year. So that is something that really stood out to me. Other than that, I didn't really get, the Panthers taking J.C. Horn at 8.
That was a weird one. That one threw me off.
I was just kind of confused by that. You don't necessarily need corners. Your corners were good last year. They're not getting any older. They're young guys still. They're still on contracts. One of them left. Yeah, that's fine. But, you don't need to replace him with a high ceiling, don't know type of player in J.C. Horn, because there's some vision,
bro.
Yeah, I mean, they have to, I guess. But, J.C. Horn, yeah, he's physical, but he has problems with penalties. When you look back at his college career, he has a huge problem with that. So it's do you really want to bring in a guy like that? Yeah, he's aggressive, but you could get an aggressive guy later in the second round, who got Asante Samuel Jr. I know it's a Florida State guy.
That would be the Chargers.
But you can get that guy. You can get that guy later. Yeah, he did. He went to LA with Derwin. Just freaking Florida State, LA out there now. Jesus Christ, Gabe Neighbors, everybody's out there. But Jalen Ramsey's out in LA. Jeez, good Lord. Cam Akers, good God. But yeah, I don't know why you take J.C. Horn there. You could get a very physical corner later in the draft. I didn't really understand that. And then going back to what CJ said, the Leatherwood pick for the Raiders. What are you doing?
That's a tough life.
What are you?
That's a tough life.
You could have taken any other offensive lineman, not named Alex Leatherwood. And it would be a decent pick. And you take Alex Leatherwood, who has really split down the draft boards in this past year because of his play on the field. So really questionable. I like what the Green Bay Packers were able to do in getting Eric Stokes there at 29. I'm a big fan of that pick. I have been very high on Eric Stokes. He's very fast. He's the one who got picked on when at Alabama or at Georgia, because Tyson Campbell was their lockdown guy, even though Eric Stokes is the one going before him. Tyson Campbell was their lockdown guy there at Georgia, come from the college atmosphere. And so he was always the guy that got picked on and was very solid in what he was able to do. So I really like that pick there for the Packers, giving you a little love there, Cheese.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Yes, sir. Why she's take it over?
From my perspective, I want to go off on the Eric Stokes. I feel like it was a great pick by Green Bay. I know you guys really wanted Green Bay to pick horribly, just so you could see me flip out during the draft stream. But Green Bay decided to keep it cool for the day. And one thing that I love about this Eric Stokes pick is the guy ran a 4.28 40. I'll tell you right now, if it was him guarding Scotty Miller instead of bum-ass King, there's no touchdown there. That's a bat down away. Instead of being down 21-10,
right. You're
14-10
probably
or
absolutely
17-10.
right. You're probably absolutely right.
It's either 14-10. It's either a 14-10 trail or a 17-10 trail. Other than that, it's a different ball game. But I like the pick of Stokes. I feel like he'll be a good CB3, future CB2. I think it's a good addition by the defense. Overall, I thought the draft was pretty well. The one thing that would surprise me, like you mentioned, Caleb, Jamar Chase at number 5. I don't know what the hell the Bengals are doing. First, they don't even have an indoor facility. Now they're letting Joe Burrow. Hey, Joe Burrow, that's a nice scar on your knee. How about we put another one on there just so we get your homeboy Jamar Chase and hit the gritty? No, you should have got Penei Sewell at the 5th overall pick. But no, you decided, we're going to do the gritty. We're going to do the gritty all over the field. Yeah, while your bum ass is on the floor and it's Brandon Allen doing the gritty with Jamar Chase and not you. Like, come on, what are you doing?
Yo, but if they are able to protect them, though, that offense is crazy.
CJ.
But CJ, it's a big
if they can protect.
Nah, that's a big if, but I'm just saying, bro. That wide receiver core is different with Mixon. They got to protect them though.
It is a big if, but one thing that I will say, I do definitely want to send out prayers to Penei Sewell for getting drafted to the depths of Detroit, because that is going to be a disastrous spot for him.
As I said before,
nothing good comes out of Detroit.
Life.
Him and Jared Goff, man.
There you go, a tough life. Well, Jared Goff's life was already
Jared Goff
tough in
went from LA to Detroit, bro.
It's gonna be tough now. We'll see how they draft, bro, because they got 3 first-round picks. Remember that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they draft. But
bro,
overall,
I don't care how
the
many
draft
picks you got. If I got to go from LA to Detroit, I'm out of there.
No, I mean for Sewell.
All I gotta say is I called Patrick Surtain going to the Denver. I said on the draft day stream, I said, what if the Broncos said, fuck the Cowboys, let's take Surtain at number 9, and what happens? They take Surtain at number 9. Does it make sense for them? Absolutely not. But how about their secondary? Absolutely. Other shocks of the draft, definitely Alex Leatherwood. What are the Raiders doing? Like, you literally got rid of your lineman because you wanted to save cap space, yet you decide at 17 to draft Alex Leatherwood when he clearly wasn't the best lineman prospect. You could have gotten, I think it was Vera Tucker. You could have gotten other linemen better than Alex Leatherwood. Hell, you could have put Anthony at 17, and that would have been an upgrade.
Christian Darrisaw was still available. And
the Jets had traded up by then. They probably
exactly.
might have gone with Vera Tucker. Just didn't trade up.
This may be interesting, but I was kind of surprised the Giants took Kadarius Toney at 20. I thought if I were the New York Giants, why don't I take a chance on JOK instead? Now, Dustin, I know you're a big Browns fan. You love JOK and Cleveland, but I felt like if I were the Giants, why would they draft Kadarius Toney in the first place when you already have guys like Kenny Golladay you just signed? You got Sterling Shepard there, Darius Slayton. And you got Evan Ingram. What are you going to do with Kadarius Toney? Where are you going to place him there? It just doesn't make sense. Granted, you traded down and got some good capital.
I mean, you will get special teams
from the Bears, but it's essentially Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney doesn't impact now.
And then
if they would have drafted JOK, that would have improved their defense right away.
Look at the injury history. Not only, but like look at the injury.
This man Sterling Shepard is a bump on the head away from CTE already.
Right. Like look at the injury history not only of Sterling Shepard, but I mean as well as Slayton's missed a couple games with ankle problems.
Kenny Golladay ain't the healthiest guy around.
Kenny Golladay played through a lot of things, and he still probably will. But like those two players that I mentioned before, and Slayton and Shepard. They have injury history out the ass. Like you look at that, why not give you another weapon that adds depth that you can just throw every single pass to him within 10 yards and just let him move in space? It's very smart in my opinion. It's very smart in my opinion because I mean it's not necessarily the pick it's not necessarily the pick they should have gone with there. Is it a reach? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you look at the injury history of your number 2 wide receivers that you try and you don't really. They're both number 2 guys. Slayton and Shepard, in my opinion, are number 2 guys.
I don't even think I've talked this whole time. Except I'm straight. That's why.
Yeah.
What you say? You were
Sorry,
muted?
I don't think I've talked this entire time.
Yeah. It's my
Don't worry.
first time hearing you for
I
sure.
know, Dustin. What happened?
Yeah, keep going. So I'm not gonna overshadow.
I was trying to be cool and just let everybody go. I mean,
No, but
trying
see,
to-
here's the thing.
We're just working
You
down the
changed
line,
up-
right?
You changed up your whole MO. I brought you in. You always, just balls to the wall. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it ride. There's no point in, letting it happen. But you all of a sudden went silent library on us.
Silent library.
I'm not, but I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm listening and I'm waiting. I'm just.
All right, you know
ready to
what?
go.
You know what?
Great
I'm
shirt.
gonna
Last thing.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
I'm sorry. One last thing I'll say about this draft. Number 24 and 25. What are the Steelers and Jaguars doing? Why would you draft Najee Harris at 24 when you know damn well you don't got an offensive line for old ass Ben Roethlisberger?
It doesn't
I understand
matter.
you
It's
need a running
Najee
back,
Harris.
but please, you needed a lineman instead. I understand you have Najee Harris, but how is he going to run when you got no O line? Like, I know the
they've
dude's a
got an
monster,
okay
but come on
offensive
now.
line. They've got an okay offensive line.
They
Yes,
just
they've
lost.
got.
They just lost
I know.
Alejandro Villanueva to the Ravens, and
Jesus
Pouncey
Christ.
just
Pouncey
retired.
retired.
Yeah,
You got
Listen,
no
listen.
center,
Christ.
and you got no
Nick,
edge
Nick,
guy, and
Nick,
also
I'm sorry.
the Jaguars just straight up
Christ.
disrespected. The Jaguars just straight up disrespected James Robinson with that ETN pick. Utter BS.
Why?
Floor is yours.
How is that disrespect when
You
you
got
have a
ETN
1-2
and
punch
Lawrence
that's lethal?
together. Like, that offense is looking kind of.
Doesn't matter. Robinson was a solid back. You would have been just fine. You could have
Okay,
drafted
but to
another
make it work in the
receiver and Pittman
NFL,
at
you most likely
25
gotta have
instead.
2 or 3 guys that can contribute. You can't
And
just
they
have
got
one
Jesus
guy.
Christ. I mean, like, dude, I don't know what the fuck.
From college, I mean,
I don't know what y'all are saying.
to me, it made sense. It made sense to me. I don't know.
I don't know what y'all are saying. So, like, okay. So we'll go over the draft. First of all, Trey Lance at number 3 was absolutely retarded. I'm just going to put that out there. It's absolutely retarded. If you're going to choose an athletic quarterback that has a high IQ, that loves football or anything like that, Justin Fields is head and shoulders over Trey Lance. I have no recollection. I have no physical evidence over how the hell Trey Lance is better than Justin Fields. It's not even, I can't even comprehend it. It's stupid. We can go to the tape, we can go to stats, we can go to anything you want to. We can go from experience, we can literally check every single box. Speed, athleticism, whatever you want. The arm, whatever you want. There's nothing Trey Lance does better than Justin Fields. So the Chicago Bears, first of all, are the champs of the draft. The fact they got him is unbelievable. Now, he might sit behind Andy Dalton. I do agree with Caleb that Andy Dalton's no scrub. I really think the guy can actually kind of be competent behind the offense, and maybe Justin Fields can actually learn behind him. So I kind of mess with that. But, like Zach Wilson, I kind of look at Zach. Dude, he looked like a deer in the headlights in the draft.
Christian.
He looked like a deer in the headlights. He looked like a fucking deer in the headlights. That kid looked scared. I was like, Jesus, I don't even want to see you on the fucking field. I just don't. I'm just like, dude, you look like a fucking 14-year-old kid. You're about to get killed. You know,
I
I'm
mean,
serious.
he does, but you look at him and the way he carries
But
himself.
okay,
on the
I'm gonna
field.
continue about the Bengals. So I agree about the Bengals. First of all, you're in a division where the Browns, the Ravens, the Steelers, man, they got people who are going to try to take Joe Burrow's head off every single time they see him. It's going to be a lot. You're going to see a lot of that shit. Why you would take a wide receiver? Wide receivers don't, and skill players do not benefit you if you're going to see the ceiling. There's dude, it is what it is. If you're going to see the ceiling, you can't even make a second read. What the hell does Jamar Chase do? What, does he block? Is he going to be like some type of extra lineman where we're going to cut somebody off? I mean, I'm just asking. I don't understand where he benefits. It doesn't matter how many weapons you have. Bro, he's got to be able to look downfield. And if you can't look downfield, it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it is what it is. And then the ETN pick, Actually, I agree with the Jaguars. No, I don't agree with the Jaguars. I actually agree with the other take. That it made no sense to draft him. I just don't understand why. Like this is like it's pointing to all the signs that the Jaguars are again about to be a ran shit. Why the hell would you draft that guy? I mean, you could have drafted somebody that could have helped you. You could have drafted a defensive player. You could have drafted somebody who was going to start. ETN is going to help you in a couple of downs. Maybe he gets you a first down every now and then. Maybe he scores a touchdown once in a while. Dude, it's not going to help you win a football game. I just don't understand that. And I do disagree with the Steelers take on Harris. First of all, that dude's a beast. I understand they need offensive line. But let's be completely honest, they weren't getting a good offensive lineman at that spot. It wasn't going to happen. They weren't getting some elite guy. You might as well just wait. The Bengals are just completely retarded. They're just completely retarded. I just don't know what to tell you. But the Steelers, at least just know that I can't get a good offensive line at this point. Might as well just wait. No, it is what it is. But at least they didn't trade up. At least they didn't trade up to get him. Like the Green Bay did, fucking Jordan Love. We'll leave that to another day.
I do not deserve this slander right now, Justin. Not right now. I understand.
Fucking Green Bay sorry as fuck. I hope Aaron Rodgers leaves this year. I hope he's playing fucking down. I hope he's playing fucking down.
You know what?
I hope he sits the fuck out.
Purgatory.
And Jordan Love throws 4 picks in the first fucking week. I absolutely wish that on your life. Anyway.
Whoa. Why you wish 4 picks? Why not just 2 instead?
4 picks. 4 picks. I'm talking 4 picks.
Slammed this bad.
I hope Khalil Mack knocks the absolute shit out of him first time you see him. I hope he just fucking takes the shoulder pads off.
I don't know if we're allowed to wish injury.
Hey, all I gotta say is if Jordan Love throws 4 picks, give me Jameis and add on 4 tubs to that, please.
Bro, I'll sign Tim Tebow before I watch Jordan Love play.
Right,
anyway.
Yo. I do
you're
not want to
Justin.
hear that disrespect.
Tim Tebow at least Tim Tebow might be able to get out of there.
Tim Tebow got to say a prayer.
Tim
Tebow was only religious because he had to say a prayer before each pass.
Why are you going hard at Jordan Love, my man? He hasn't even played yet. You don't even know when
because he fucking sucks.
We could have the next Mahomes in our hands.
Because he fucking sucks. He fucking sucks.
Dude, you know what? Now I hope Jordan Love proves all you guys wrong. Now I hope for Jordan Love to be successful.
You don't hope that for us. You hope it for yourself.
If Jordan Love is right. Yeah.
But Jordan Love's trash. Motherfucker's trash.
No, Matt's on the stream. That's not allowed.
I'm so trying to Green Bay
trash. No, I'm still mad at the Browns. I'm still mad at the Browns for grabbing your corner when you obviously have gone on secondary the entire time. And they probably could have got a really good inside guy. I just don't understand with the cornerback. That don't make no fucking sense.
Yeah, but y'all got JOK. Y'all got JOK later. Y'all are fine.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Caleb, I understand like you're in your little hip dance and shit. But we didn't need his ass. Like, he could have went the second round, and we could have fucking moved on. You know what I'm saying? We could have fucking moved on a lot.
Hey, Caleb.
It is what it is.
Hey, Caleb, why don't you show Nick the example of what you see in the
I don't think that needs to happen. I really don't. But what I do need to happen is to hear what Nick thinks about this draft. So let me hear you.
I mean, everyone pretty much like chimed in and said everything that I was pretty much going to say. Like, especially as far as like the Bengals, the Jamar Chase thing. It's just like, I don't know, man. I mean, you got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd. That's really not too bad of a wide receiver court. Like you're starting 2 wide receivers. I mean, you obviously need the help at O-line much more than you do a receiver. I mean, that was pretty much like guaranteed, obviously. But so that's just like, that's a head scratcher to not take Sewell right there. And I mean, as far as everything else, it's like, I was kind of surprised to see like Philadelphia trade up with the Giants to select Devontae Smith. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Giants kind of made off better than that in like the draft capital that they have going forward. So I feel like they'll be set down the road better than the Eagles will be. And then what kind of surprised me is like my Bills taking Greg Rousseau. I mean, I know he opted out. He opted out last year. He had 15 sacks the year before that, but a lot of like pretty much all his sacks came in off the inside. And like
And talk about that Florida State game where he had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, right. I mean, he has a high ceiling. He has the talent. Like he's like 6'6". He has the length. He has the athleticism. His jump off the line is a little slow, and like the Bills desperately need like an edge rusher. I mean, we got Jerry Hughes. He's getting old. Trent Murphy. He's looking like a cap casualty. Like, I mean, it's just like we need edge rush, and like all his sacks came in off the inside. So it's like maybe he'll be like, I don't know. I feel like McDermott, him being a defensive minded coach, he'll figure a way to plug him in there so that he could succeed on the line. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as like everything else that everyone said so far. So
All right, I'll wrap up the overall drafting before we get into our individual teams. Listen, I shit on New York sports a lot, even though I'm from here, because we think we're better than everybody. Bro, let me tell you, New York teams, congratulations. You guys did, like, this was to me, this was the draft that went opposite of everything. Like, bad teams drafted well. Like, they actually, like the Jets getting Zach Wilson and Elijah Vera Tucker trading off for him, brilliant. The Giants move back an extra first-round pick or something like that.
Those aren't New York teams, but all right. Yeah.
Oh, listen. Calm down, Nick. I know your Bills are the only true New York team, but still.
You
know, and then obviously I think the surprises to me were I didn't think Slater was going to fall to 13 to the Chargers, obviously because I thought that if the Bengals were decent.
What a steal there.
Oh, steal. Absolutely. Highway robbery. But I thought, you know, if the Bengals were smart, they were going to take Sewell, and then, you know, obviously I thought the Panthers were going to end up taking Slater or something like that. But they took J.C. Horn, and then even the Broncos, like when they picked Patrick Surtain, I was like, damn, I guess this is where Justin Fields is going to end up going, and then they obviously take a corner. So there was a lot of surprises in this draft. Obviously, I think we can all hate on the Raiders pick. I mean, like. I don't know what you really did there.
What happens when you get Chucky calling the calls?
Bro, like every draft pick that the Raiders had, like they could have had in the next round. Like literally
all I got to say is that John Gruden better think his lucky balls for Tony Dungy.
No, you better hope his lucky balls for a 10-year contract.
That's the other reason he has a Super Bowl.
Well, that is also
Tony
true.
Dungy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an overall good draft. And listen, the Browns, man, another team that we're used to, you know, crapping on.
Scary.
Let me tell you, you get Greg Newsome, high ceiling, and then you get Koromoa. Yeah, you get him in the second round. A lot of people thought he'd be in the first round.
I had him ranked as a top 20 prospect.
Like, and that's the thing too. Like, even when they got JOK, like they didn't even trade up for it. Like he slid all the way down to the Browns.
Dustin, you ain't got nothing to be mad about.
Nah, like the Browns, congratulations. You guys killed it. Dustin, I know you can complain about your corner, but your corners were ass last year. Dog water. So you know what?
Dog water.
They get Newsome and they try to fix it. It. But we'll move on to our individual teams. You know what? I'll give the floor to – listen, I don't even know what picture is going to come up next when I hit this. So whatever team is next – oh, not that one, not that – oh, my God, look at this. Oh, here we go, Bills. There we go.
Nick,
give me your rundown of your draft. What did you think about it? And then listen, people, I'm going to need everybody to shut the hell up. We're going to go real quick, okay? Nick is going to give his opinion on it. We'll chime in a sentence or two. No need to write essays here. I do enough of that in my journalism class. So, with that being said, I did take it away. That's my bad. I'm not going to lie. There you go, Nick. What do you think of your draft?
I mean, when we originally took Gregory Rousseau, I didn't really know how to feel, but like now that it sat with me, it made sense for I didn't expect us to go defensive ends / edge like in back-to-back rounds, but it makes sense to me because it's like I said, our defensive ends, our edge. I mean, we don't even really have an edge rusher. Like we have defensive ends. Like Jerry Hughes is a defensive end. I mean, he could pressure the quarterback, but his age is getting up there, and it's like you got Trent Murphy on the other side. We got AJ Espinosa, who we took in the second round last year. He's undeveloped. He's still up in the air. So I mean, we have all the help in the world on the edge, on the end now for us to, attack the quarterback and get some pressure on the quarterback. And I mean, that's what we desperately need to be Kansas City going forward. I like the 2 offensive linemen we took in the 3rd and 4th. I seen Spencer Brown on social media jumping through a table when he got drafted. So
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I love
That
him
was nuts.
immediately. I mean, so more O-line depth, more competition in training camp for O-line. Overall, I'm not too mad about the draft because at the end of the day we need help on the ends, and Gregory Rousseau's like he's more of a project. I feel like he's more of a raw talent. But his ceiling is high. Like I said, he has the length, he has the athleticism. So I feel like McDermott could really work both of our 1st and 2nd picks into the defense and have them succeed going forward.
All right, like I said, sentences. I will mute you. I don't got a problem. CJ, what you think?
Oh yeah, go ahead, CJ.
I'm gonna just go down the line. I'm gonna just go down the line.
Yeah. I mean, Nick pretty much had made all the great points. They needed help in the interior on both ends of the football, and that's exactly what they did. Got a receiver in the later rounds, potential special teams guy, got a safety, DB. Could always have those for depth. But yeah, I thought it was a solid draft. I mean, obviously it's going to come down to Rousseau and how McDermott develops him and what type of sub packages and edge rushing packages he puts him in for him to be successful. Look at these quarterbacks in our division. So in the AFC East, so you got to be able to get to the quarterback. And I think Buffalo did a really good job of that in terms of getting Rousseau and Boogie Basham.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Ultimately, in that conference, you need to win up front. If you win up front, or that division, excuse me, I'm thinking college, but in that division, you got to be able to win up front, and they did a good job of addressing those needs very early on. Whether Rousseau's going to be coming off and being able to stunt, I think that's really one of those big things that you can do with him is be able to stunt him, play him on the outside, stunt in, and be able to create havoc and just getting one of your regular defensive ends out there, like you were talking about earlier, Nick. And then that's just going to create pressure, whether it's the middle or whether it's from the outside. You're still getting defensive end pressure one way or another. So I like the pick with Greg Rousseau. Question mark is, after opting out last season, where you're at, what are you looking like? He was one of those draft fallers, still gets picked in the 1st round. So it's a good look. But I've always been a big fan of, Basham. Just kind of, a solid guy overall. Isn't necessarily going to wow you, but he's going to make the plays that is called upon for him to make. So I think it's great for them to, go ahead and utilize the front where you need to be able to win, not only in the division that you're in, but the NFL as a whole. I think you win up front in those trenches, whether it's offensive or defensive line.
Yeah, I'll have to follow up with what you guys said. I agree as well. I feel like the Bills made solid picks. I mean, they're still one of the teams to beat in the AFC, so these players will only help further ensure that. And let's hope the Bills Mafia keeps on doing good, because I feel like everybody besides Pats fans cheer for Bills Mafia to be successful. So let's hope Bills Mafia can keep it up, and let's hope that Bills Mafia last year wasn't just a fluke, because we've seen teams be successful for 1 year and then completely shit the bed the next year. So let's hope Bills Mafia could keep it going. Let's hope they could keep on slamming them tables. I'm pretty sure Nick did one before the stream, and let's keep it rolling.
My man shotgunned a beer and then jumped through a table. But Dustin, finish it out with the Bills.
The Bills could have drafted Brock Lesnar, and I would have been okay with it. First of all, the team is going to be all right. Let's be all right. The Bills are going to be, again this year, a powerhouse. I think they're probably going to win the division. Unless Mac Jones comes on and balls out. He might.
Yeah, Mac 10.
Dispute. So therefore, anyway. No, I'm not worried about the Bills at all, man. Like, I look at their draft. fine. I just don't see where the Bills are going to get worse. So therefore, I'm good. I'm good. I look at them. I'm straight.
All right, let's see what the next team is. Like I said, I literally don't even know who it's going to be. Look at that. It's
I'll
the
do it.
Mets. Bro, I'm telling you, I don't even know who it is. Every time I click, there could be a picture of my nipple on here. I wouldn't even know. CJ, what you think of
I'm so mad about the
bro?
fucking Christian Barmore pick. I'm salty as fuck.
You go, bro. You go.
You want me to go? Okay. Listen. I've had time to breathe. I've calmed down a little bit. Now listen. Is it Mac 10 season? No. I think it's more of a water gun. I think it's kind of, frat boy. I think it's more frat boy at the I think it's more frat boy at the summer party. It's more Caleb vibes than I think.
Chill.
Well, my man Caleb did not deserve that slam.
I mean, bro,
thank you.
Listen, we got Lego Man round one. You know what? I came into the draft saying Bill had one job, and that was to get Justin Fields. One job. It didn't happen. And you know what? I was mad because I thought, they could have just done it. They could have traded up. But apparently Mac Jones was the plan the whole time. So even if they traded up, I still would have been mad. So you know what? I'm going to put my faith in Bill. Should I do that as him drafting an offensive player? Probably not. Because he don't know how to draft offense from I don't even know. But
Except Tom Brady.
He drafted Tom Brady, Edelman, and Gronk in 20 years. We can calm down.
That won him 6 Super Bowl.
Listen, this is true. Don't get me wrong, it's true. It is. I know. Next up, this is where my draft began. My draft began in round 2. Because after my dog shit finanza of round 1 with Mac Jones,
Man.
I was a little upset. I became a Chargers fan, for a little bit. I came back though. I applied for reinstatement from the NFL. I'm back, unretired. Give me my contract. But listen,
and you were approved the CJ declaration.
Yes, listen, I'm welcome back with open arms. You know what I mean? And listen, who am I to judge anyway? A lot of these places that I'm looking gave the Patriots an A+ for the draft. I'm just saying. Pro Football Focus.
Look, bro. Y'all took my motherfucking defensive tackle, and I'm not okay with that. I'm absolutely not okay with that.
No, I'm real okay. Because like I said, Pro Football Focus gave us an A+ for the draft and said Barmore.
And they should have, because you got that fucking stuff. And the Browns grit fucking Newsom.
Don't worry. Patriots got a nice little Christian Barmore. You know what I mean? They said that he had the best grade of Pro Football Focus last year. I like it.
I can't do it now, but I'm throwing my beer at you.
You know what? Go ahead. And then we go and we pick up Ronnie Perkins as well. Give me a more D-line help, bro. I need it. I'm a little upset with all these old guys we got.
I mean, y'all honestly need help everywhere. So,
calm down. We figured out offense during free agency. Calm down, Caleb. Next, you win one Super Bowl. Think you're Jesus. And then we over here get Stevenson, a nice little running back. We declined Sony Michel. We could have had Nick Chubb.
No, he's not little at all.
No. I know. I just meant that.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
We declined Sony Michel. We said, listen.
We'll call it even with Nick Chubb. There you go.
Yeah, facts. We got even there.
Word.
And then one of my favorite picks right here, McGrone. And I don't even know anything about him, but he's still one of my favorite picks because when I read about him, it said that he's fast. And let me tell you something, the Patriots and fast have never been in a relationship together. Not one single time have they had a fast player on their team. Randy Moss was just there. He was just there, and Tom Brady was slinging dots. Bro,
but he was fast.
Julian Edelman wasn't fast. Gronk wasn't fast. Tom couldn't outrun a turtle. But you know what? I heard fast and linebacker in the same sentence. I about cried. And then the rest, nice little fill-in plays. Bledsoe, Mixon, I like them. Not bad. Some depth. I'm all right. CJ, what'd you think of our boys, our draft?
Yeah, I thought we had a good draft. Obviously, started at the top with Mac Jones. I was obviously wanted Mac Jones for a while. So I felt like he could fit into the Patriots system, being able to drop back, pocket passer, make plays, not asking him to do much. I look at this draft for Belichick. It really looks like, like I said in the chat the other day, the football chat. It looks like he's trying to go back to the early 2000s, but just modernizing a little bit, get physical up front, run the football. Look at a guy like Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma, big physical guy. Could be that LeGarrette Blount type back in the red zone, make some plays. I'm a fan of the Mac Jones move. I mean, I've seen it's been 50-50 between Patriot fans from things that I've seen. People think because he's not athletic and things, and like he's not as athletic as the other four guys that were drafted ahead of him. So people look at that, and then obviously the Bears moving up to get Fields, and that people feel like we could have did the same thing. But I feel like Jones is going to be good. Bill's going to put him in all the positions to succeed, and we'll see if he'll succeed or not. Bill's not going to throw him in there if he's not completely ready. And if once Bill does throw him in there, he's not going to put him in there to just get beat up. They're going to run the ball. They're going to do play action. That's why they have the two tight ends, Henry and Jonnu Smith. And then we got, again, like people talk about the wide receivers. We got one in the 7th round with Trey Nixon from UCF. Again, outside of Randy Moss, they've never really had a true number 1 X on the outside. So it's not. I don't really. It's not a big need to me. Getting Aguilar, getting Bourne. Those are Patriot type pickups at the wide receiver position. So I see a lot of Patriot fans like, oh, why didn't we? Even though the wide receiver class was deep in this draft class, I do agree. But I just feel like that's Bill. That's Bill. Like we've seen it for 22 years already. So I'm not going to be too upset about that. And yeah, Ronnie Perkins, Christian Barmore need help on that interior line. Lawrence Guy's on a 1-year deal. Ronnie Perkins has a lot of upside. He needs to be coached in terms of being an edge rusher. In terms of getting to the quarterback, he's good at stopping the run. Barmore can kind of be that 3-4 defensive end or in the fourth.
Just adding to my depression, and I don't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he dropped. I'm surprised. I thought he would be a 1st-round pick. We talked about
because he shouldn't have dropped. That was the point.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah, people they were saying he was kind of hot and cold. He was.
No, you have a big job. I don't want to hear shit.
People were saying he was kind of hot and cold throughout the season in Alabama. He played really well in the playoff series against Notre Dame, Ohio State. So that's what really. Put him up on draft boards, and then they saw some other games throughout the season where he didn't look as great. So that's probably why he dropped a little bit. But Bill did trade up to get him, gave up 2 4s. So I think he could be in that. He could kind of be a 3 technique, and that's some of the 4-3 sets that Bill likes to do. And like I said, Stevenson, good big back. McGrone, this is like the 3rd linebacker we've got from Michigan. You got Winovich and then Uche the year before. So, I mean, he seems to be a fan of those guys. Fast linebackers, sideline to sideline. But I think our linebacker core is on paper, one of the best right now. You look at Van Noy, Hightower coming back, Judon. Like I said, Uche, Bentley. I feel like, we doing some things over there in Foxborough. So I like the draft overall. I'm gonna give it an A-. I see people giving it A's and A+. I'll give it an A-. And yeah, man. Like I said, people hit on Mac Jones. We'll see in 5 years who was right.
Mac 10, baby.
The first thing I want to hit on when it comes to Patriots draft classes, we were speaking on, this deep wide receiver class, and for the Patriots to go and get Trey Nixon out of UCF, they're in the 7th round is kind of ridiculous to me. If you're able to watch this guy's tape, he is absolutely. One of those guys. He is one of those guys that is number 1. He plays like a number 1. He's probably not going to be a number 1. I mean, he might be, now. Even though being drafted in the 7th round, you're going to the Patriots team that doesn't have anybody proven. N'Keal Harry, definitely not proven. Anybody else outside of that, I can't even name.
Proven bum.
I can't even name who outside of that, is a wide receiver for the Patriots. So, like, you're immediately going to be able to come and make a name for yourself, even being drafted in the 7th round. That's a huge get for them. Trey Nixon, if you guys don't know Trey Nixon, go watch his tape. Guy's electric. just very well-rounded wide receiver, especially when it comes to the deep ball. So he works very well at system. And then you look at, their biggest need, which was probably defensive line or maybe quarterback, right? And defensive line, they definitely reassured that up. Obviously, with Christian Barmore sliding to the second round to them is huge. Getting Ronnie Perkins in the third, who was, very high up on boards to start the college football season before this, before the last season happened. Overall, a very good draft for them after the first pick. Mac Jones, I know he's sitting there, so you might as well take him. So, I'm not mad at it. I'm just not a huge Mac Jones guy. I just don't know how it's going to convert to the NFL and the speed of it. And, maybe getting a year behind Cam Newton will help, but they're totally two different quarterbacks. They're two totally different quarterbacks when you look at that. So, yeah, Cam might be able to teach him some things, but is he really going to be able to because their games are completely different. Cam likes to throw outside the pocket, get outside, and then square up his shoulders, throw. Mac Jones likes to sit in the pocket, just move up, and then just be able to launch it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I originally hated the pick. I still am not a huge fan of the pick, but I've come down from my hatred on the pick for Mac Jones, just because I know Bill has success with working with quarterbacks like that. Obviously, with Tom Brady, who just knows how to feel the pocket. Mac Jones is a very good quarterback when it comes to feeling the pocket around him. So it's kind of grown on me a little bit. You watch Mac Jones highlight tapes, and he's just, very good at moving in the pocket, being able to feel things coming off of him. So not an awful pick as much as I thought it was to begin with. But overall, yeah, I think I'm right there with you, CJ. I give it an A-.
Yeah, I have to agree with you guys as well. I believe this was a solid A draft by the Patriots. Definitely cannot wait for Mac Jones whenever he plays, whether you say return of the Mac 10, don't matter. Mac Jones, I think, is going to be a good addition. I mean, Anthony said he's built like a Lego. I mean, maybe that Lego will maybe one day be a statue next to Brady. But we'll see. We'll see what happens overall. I felt the draft was very solid for the Pats. You saw them get Christian Barmore, Ronnie Perkins, solid additions on the defense. And hopefully Trey Nixon listens to the hype. Caleb said he has a good highlight tape, so we'll see how that goes. But overall, thought it was a solid draft from the Pats, and I'm glad Anthony has toned down a lot of his hatred towards Mac Jones, because on the stream, he flamed this man out of existence so bad, Mac Jones might have lost some fat because of the flaming that he took from Anthony.
I'm just trying to help everybody out. Nick, give me your biased Bills fans perspective on it.
I mean, oh man. I mean, honestly, I feel like Mac Jones, out of all the quarterbacks that were taken after him, he fits New England's brand of football and their system best than the rest of them. I know Connie said he wanted Justin Fields, but to me, I just feel like Justin Fields doesn't really fit their style of play at the quarterback position. I mean, right now they have two completely different quarterbacks on their depth chart. I mean, Cam Newton, obviously we know he's mobile, he's able to use his legs. They have schemes and plays drawn specifically for his style of play that they'd never call for Mac Jones, obviously. So it's just interesting to see what's going to happen in camp. If Bill decides to, I even if Mac Jones may look better in camp than Cam, does he still sit Mac Jones for a year and let him learn and sit behind Cam, or does he does he take a chance on him day one as a starter? So I mean, and then as far as the linemen that y'all drafted, I feel like Bill and New England specifically has always wanted good interior defensive linemen as a part of their defense. So that definitely will help your front line. And honestly, I can't even chime in on anything past round 4 because I don't know who those guys are, and I don't care. I don't care what they do in New England. I don't care. Yeah. So that's it.
Right, man. We're gonna see, man.
Dustin,
we'll see, bro.
I'm highly salty. over the round 2 pick because the Browns were absolutely retarded. We'll let that go. I'm so salty about Baltimore, but I think a lot of people need to get over the hate about Mac Jones. This dude completed like 77% of his passes. The dude played as highly as he probably could have in college. I mean, I don't know how better he could have done. Let's be completely honest. First of all, like when you test his athleticism, he ran a 4.8 40. That is not slow. That's not slow. Like, and then in what environment is a 4.8 slow? It's not. I don't know if anybody's ever witnessed somebody who could run in the 4-second spectrum in a 40, but 4.8 is not slow. The guy can move. He can absolutely move. He can throw the football, and then people are like, "Oh, he had the best receivers." Okay, so did Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had a elite offense, from top bottom. There was no.
Speaking of gospel,
there was no question about it. But dude, Mac Jones is okay. Like, I just don't understand why everybody's hating on him. And Justin Fields should have went top 3. So I agree with Connie. You should have traded up and got him. The dude is crazy. But Mac Jones is not some walk-on scrub. This dude is good. I just don't understand why people don't think that. But Christian Barmore he's a fucking beast. I don't understand why the Browns didn't get him first round. They should have. That was my pick. Newsome, I understand the cornerback and shit like that. The reason our cornerbacks honestly were honestly thin was because of a lot of injuries. I do agree. I think Greedy Williams should be dropped off the roster right now because he hasn't played a fucking down in like 2 years. So therefore, Denzel Ward all of a sudden has concussions every 5 seconds. Joe Hayden goes to the Steelers and is healthy for 5 years. But don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about that. But it's to the fact I understand why they might have drafted him. I don't hate on it, but if you go to the Patriots draft, dude, you guys did a good job. I agree. Beyond round 3 or 4, dude, I really don't know. But round 1 to 3, you guys did a hell of a job, and it's fun to be honest.
All right, let's see. Bro, hold on. You know what? Let me not wall out. Let me stop sharing the screen because I literally don't know what the next pictures can be on this thing because this ain't even my laptop, honestly. So let me not, see, bro, my picture's not even on here, bro. Not even on here. The ones that I'm looking for. It's you know what? We tried the share screen thing and it worked for a little bit, but you know what? I'm just gonna tell you guys who other people drafted. You know who the next team is gonna be? The next team is gonna be whatever one I scroll past right now, and it's the Bucks. That would be you, Caleb. I know you probably already know your picks anyway, but I'll refresh your memory for the people as well. Joe Tryon, is that his name?
Yes.
If he becomes good, instant nickname Joe Tryhard, instantly. Kyle Trask in the 2nd round, Robert Hansey, Jalen Darden, KJ Britt, Chris Wilcox, and Grant Stewart. What you think of your draft, Caleb? What you think?
I would have gone opposite. I would have gone, interior defensive line for the first pick. Just backing up Ndamukong Suh because he's not getting any younger. But at the end of the day, I had never heard of Joe Tyron. Up until we drafted him, and then I put on his tape and. This guy is an absolute beast at getting after the quarterback. So it only helps your defensive line at that moment. But then my 2 biggest excitement picks for the Bucs is obviously Kyle Trask. One, being able to back up Tom Brady. It's huge, and learning from him. And I think that's a perfect quarterback to be able to learn from and the perfect quarterback to be able to learn. Kyle Trask is a very humble guy when it comes to being on the football field.
No, I picked the wrong one. I lied. There we go. Bam!
There we go. Kyle Trask is one of those guys who's going to sit and wait his turn. You know, it doesn't matter when it's his time, but when his time arises, he kind of, you know, grabs it by the horn. Yeah, did he have a bad ending to his last season? Yeah, it wasn't that great. His bowl game was not anywhere near what it should be. And then, you know, that game against Alabama obviously just was absolutely awful. But you put him in a situation where he gets to back up a true veteran, probably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game in everybody's mind.
Don't stop putting probably in front of that.
I know, I'm sorry. The greatest quarterback to ever play the game. So you put Kyle Trask behind somebody like that who's willing to learn, and it's a quarterback who is willing to learn. You know, it's very honest, and he can do a lot more things than maybe Tom Brady can do in terms of getting outside the pocket and that nature. So the Bucs are setting themselves up for success after, you know, Tom Brady leaves, and getting Tom Brady to be able to teach this young quarterback the ropes and of everything of what it takes to be a successful quarterback. So it's great moving forward there for Jason Licht, however you want to say his name, there as the GM. And, you know, I don't necessarily know how long Arians is going to be around as a head coach. If he's there, great. If not, you promote Byron Leftwich. You know, that's somebody you want to promote within the organization, because ultimately you look at Bruce Arians, he came back to win a Super Bowl. He's got a Super Bowl. So I pretty much see him, you know, going along the same path as Tom Brady. When Tom Brady's gone, I really feel like Bruce Arians might leave as well. You promote a guy like a Byron Leftwich with a young quarterback in Kyle Trask. I think that's going to be amazing work, you know, moving forward in terms of the direction of your franchise. And then you look at my biggest, I love this kid so much. I've talked about him numerous times. Jalen Darden, the wide receiver out of North Texas, man. This kid, you want to talk about Kadarius Toney being a human joystick and the things he's able to do with the ball in space. You guys need to go check out what Jalen Darden's able to do with just beating his guy off the line, running right past him. Once he does have the ball in his hand, what he's able to do with it. You want to talk about a human joystick, look at Jalen Darden. You want to go talk about a Madden player, go look at Jalen Darden. Yeah, he's a small guy. We get that. But at the end of the day, the wide receiver room in Tampa Bay right now is completely loaded. We already know you got AB, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, whoever else you want to throw out there that is a name. And then you add a kid like this. I mean, Nickens started turning it on last year, especially in the return game, and he's returning as well this year. And then you add another elite weapon like this in the fourth round where you can just practically a steal. In my opinion, I think he probably could have gone higher if he was like in a bigger conference or something like that, or like in Power 5. You could have seen this kid being extremely, extremely great, and you know, just being all over TV. But he didn't really get that exposure. And when you go back and look at his tape, he just absolutely shines outside of that. But yeah, outside of that, Robert Hainsey, you know, securing the offensive line, giving a little depth there. KJ Britt, absolutely great pickup too. I would give it like an A- draft here for the Bucs. You know, KJ Britt, linebacker, you know, get a nice backup guy who's played in the SEC, has played against top competition. Chris Wilcox, who has played corner at BYU, who was their best cornerback while he was there, shutdown guy. And then you had Grant Stewart there late as well out of Houston. I think it's overall not a great draft for the Bucs, but, you know, a very good draft too. They didn't solidify positions that I thought they necessarily needed to. I think they needed to kind of reassure that position out, you know, behind Ndamukong Suh in that defensive line position. But if you believe that much in Ndamukong Suh staying healthy, and you can, you know, maybe get a free agent or a trade in the middle of the year or something crazy like that, or, you know, just if Suh's healthy all year, do it next year. They brought in some great pieces, in my opinion, for their future outside of what they have right now. And the Bucs are playing it right.
Well, you know what? I lied to all of you guys because we're just going to move on to the Packers because I still got other questions to ask you guys. So
nobody's going over the Bucs. I just
no. You know, me and CJ made executive decisions out here, Caleb. Executive.
I'm disappointed. That just means everybody thinks the Bucs had a good draft, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, you know what?
much.
Fantastic. Never seen one better in my entire life. Not even.
Hey,
you know,
all I gotta say is Kyle Trask the future in 6 years.
Nah, facts. If Brady ever want to retire, bro, listen. Here you go, Matt. Here's
All
your
right.
team. Have fun.
Always all mine.
I'm gonna go climb Mount Everest real quick. and then I'll be back.
It's okay. Well, overall, I thought it was a fantastic draft by the Packers. Excluding the Aaron Rodgers news, the Packers drafted great. Eric Stokes in the first round, solid for our secondary. It's only going to make our secondary much better than before. I love the addition of Josh Myers coming out of Ohio State. Last time we drafted a center out of Ohio State, it was some guy named Corey Linsley, and he just won first-team All-Pro for the best center in all of football. So hopefully Josh Myers can live up to that hype, because if he does, that's fantastic for us. I love the addition of Amari Rodgers, wide receiver out of Clemson. Very solid, very good addition to our team. Definitely going to be a solid weapon, and at least we'll have A. Rodgers on this team, this season. Whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Amari Rodgers, don't matter. Somebody's going to be there. I also love how we fill in other needs. I love getting linemen throughout the draft. Royce Newman out of Mississippi. I feel like he's going to be good no matter where we put him. I love the addition of DJ Slayton out of Florida. I feel like he's going to be great sitting next to Kenny Clark. He even stated he can't wait to learn what Kenny Clark's able to do. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what he can do. Hopefully he could live up to the hype. And I just think overall it was a solid draft, filled in a lot of team needs. One pick that I definitely want to see that could hopefully do well is Killen Hill out of Mississippi State, the running back. I think it's interesting we got him when we have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Maybe he could be the number 3 guy, and we'll see what happens. But overall, I felt like it was a great draft by the Green Bay Packers. It filled in a lot of needs. Definitely a hell lot better than last year, because last year was a straight-up dumpster fire. So head and shoulders, definitely an upgrade this year, and we've definitely helped out this team overall. Whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love at quarterback, I feel like Green Bay did a very successful job drafting and building the team well for the present and for the future.
All right, and you know what, Dustin, I'm sorry. I didn't even have the hint you were going to come on.
I'm pulling it up now, bro.
You pulling it up? I was about to say, you know what? What a lifesaver out here. What a lifesaver, because I don't got it.
Let me pull up about the Green Bay draft. Can I pull up? I'm about to pull up.
Listen. I didn't know you were coming out. I didn't have the Browns one ready for you. That's my bad.
No, it's okay, but can I just pull up on Green Bay? That's fine.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
I need to pull up on them. First of all, I'm glad y'all drafted defense. I'm glad you got a defensive player in the first round. That's great. At least you didn't draft a fucking quarterback. We're good about that. Again, y'all made a good pick in the second round. An offensive lineman, protecting the good. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady. But wide receiver Clemson. Honestly, dude, I'm just gonna be completely clear about this. When you draft people 5 to 7, it is not to absolutely start them. It is not some way to actually fill a hole. That's not realistic. When you draft guys from 5 to 7, it's mostly a project, and you're just seeing what they're gonna do. So let's not act like drafting a fucking offensive lineman in the late round is formidable. It's really not. But I'm just glad they got him. They got one in the second round. That's okay. That shows me initiative. But if Jordan Love is a quarterback versus Aaron Rodgers, I don't care who they draft. You're going to get your shit rocked. So either way. But if Aaron Rodgers is on this team, you guys are probably going to do well. I think they made the right moves for Aaron Rodgers. They extend him, which is the right move, because Jordan Love's going to get killed. But anyway, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be long-term quarterback,
I got your pick ready, bro.
I believe in this. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback and y'all aren't stupid and y'all extend him and make him happy and accommodate him, this is a great draft. But if he leaves Jordan Love, well, we'll be talking about y'all being 4 and whatever, because there's 17 games.
We won't be 4. We won't be 4 and whatever. We'll be 8. We'll be in an 8 to 10 win range. Not Super Bowl, but 8 to 10 wins. Hey, it's
Yo, get your ass whooped.
It's facts though. It's facts though.
Yo,
We'll be
don't
in
get
an
your
8
ass
to
whooped.
10. We'll be in
Bro,
8 to 10
You're
win
funnier
team,
than Dave Chappelle saying some dumb shit like that. I'll tell you what, I was laughing
He
at his
said
comedy special all
Dave
night.
Chappelle.
Bro, I'll tell you what, that was the funniest shit I've heard in the last week. And I've watched 2 of his specials. That is absolutely hilarious. You are better than him. You should get paid more.
You know
Anyway,
Hey, I wish.
Yo, Dustin, I got your boys though. I have your boys. Let me pull it up. I got you right now. You ready for this? Here's your. Oh wait, no, wrong one. This one. Here's your boys.
You are
What do you
unbelievable,
think?
Dustin. I can't
What do you
believe I
think of
got
your boys?
flamed that hard. That was bad. Here I thought having Sliver
Fuck
of
Jordan
hope in my
Love.
team, and you just shot
fuck
it.
Jordan Love. Fuck Jordan Love. Anyway,
Next thing I know, I just see a Dustin trending tweet hashtag.
like
Jordan
I
Love.
said, bro, I'm still salty about the Baltimore pick. He should have been first round. But the second round pick, absolutely great. I know he had some injury, awareness. That's why he probably stole him. But that's great. Wide receiver, okay, we added some depth. Offensive tackle, we already got probably 2 really good guys. I mean, I think the line's really set. Other than that, we're trying to add depth. But Greg Newsom wasn't it. We should have got Christian Barmore, and I'm super salty about that. I'm not just not going to go away. Newsom, I mean, hopefully he turns out to be a good lockdown. Maybe somebody who can fill in for when Greedy Williams decides to be hurt, and when his thigh hurts or something. And Denzel Ward is having a boo-boo. So therefore, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm glad that they might as well draft a corner because our corners don't even decide to show up during the game. So therefore, I mean, they just kind of go on side and eat popsicles and shit. So they should have drafted them. But the draft wasn't bad. The team is going to be ferocious. I really think the defense is going to improve, especially with a lot of guys coming back. Yeah, I really don't have a problem with it, except we should have got Barmore. So that was my only huge disappointment. And the Patriots are smart and stole him. So, congratulations.
Appreciate that. Big fan of actually being smart. All right, we're almost gonna wrap it up on this. We got one more thing after this, but I literally just want your players. Literally, not even an explanation, because I want to save that for a later time. I really do. I want these picks to marinate. So, give me your offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Now, let me tell you, I'll give you 2 options too. I need 2 offensive players from you. I need the boring quarterback pick that'll probably win, and then one that you think is a non-quarterback. So, CJ, let me start with you, bro.
Hold up. All right, pulling up the picture. So, quarterback. I feel like it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence, just because he's gonna have the most opportunities. And non-QB, I'm gonna say Kyle Pitts. You gotta decide whether you want to double Julio or Ridley, so he should get a lot of one-on-ones to be able to get open. And then on defense, I'm gonna say Micah Parsons. I'm gonna go with Parsons on defense.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Nick, give me yours.
Yeah, I mean, I just like CJ said. I mean, I feel like Trevor Lawrence is an easy pick right there. But to go non-quarterback on offense, oh man, I mean, this is gonna be out of left field, but I'm just gonna go Rashad Bateman with the Ravens. I feel like maybe him and Lamar.
Listen, that ain't bad. That ain't bad.
I feel like maybe he could be that missing piece that Lamar really need. Like, I mean, it's not a surefire thing. I know he was one of like the later receivers picked, but I mean, with such a deep receiver draft, I feel like any of these receivers could really prove themselves. But I mean, why not him with playing with Lamar and Lamar desperately needing a wide receiver? And on defense, I'm gonna go. Oh man. I don't know. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm actually no. I'm gonna go defense. I'm gonna go Patrick Surtain, maybe.
Okay.
That's that. I know Denver is already loaded in the secondary, but
Hey, listen, you don't draft somebody that high and not play him.
Exactly. I mean, he's got to be a surefire starter. And maybe he'll just ball out and have like a magnificent defensive year. Who knows?
All right, Dustin, let me hear it.
If it's non-QB, because honestly, when it goes to QB, I kind of agree. The only person that's really going to have like that responsibility on his shoulders is going to be Lawrence. Like other than that, a lot of these guys are probably going to wait multiple games. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a season. Whether people like it or not, there's a lot of people who are going to distract from him. You got Julio Jones. You got Calvin Ridley. Man, he's going to be out there. Like, he's going to be a really good target. So I think he's going to have a really good season. I really don't doubt it. On defense, I have a pretty two-way tie. I think Micah Parsons is a pretty good pick. First of all, the explosion I've seen from him from linebacker, just watching him stay, is absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen that. This guy goes downhill faster than anybody I've ever really watched. Like, I've never seen that speed going downhill. That dude is ridiculous. If he catches a play, he is going to blow it up in seconds. Like, it's not even going to be – it's like a blink of an eye. Then I think Christian Barmore is going to kill it. I think that kid, I'm telling you, that dude's going to be crazy. Like, he's going to be stupid from the interior. I don't think he's going to do bad in the NFL. I think he's going to make a really good impact for the Patriots. So, therefore, I watched a lot of them. And, you know, I'm still salty. But I like, and, you know, just putting the differences aside, that kid is going to be crazy good. And I'm telling you, dude, he's going to be crazy good. I just don't. He's huge. The guy's powerful. He's not slow. He goes for the ball. He's a playmaker. There's nothing you can't like about the guy. So that's my picture, both sides of the ball.
All right, let me give you some dark horses on both sides because, listen, I think I just want to be a little different. You know, in reality, I think it's probably Lawrence on the QB side, but listen, Jimmy G is getting hurt by the third game. We all know it's going to happen. It happens every year. Trey Lance, you know, even if you don't think he's going to be good, Dustin, first year under Kyle Shanahan and all that, they're not going to have film on him to prepare. I think he comes and balls out when he fills in for Jimmy G because I think he's going to get hurt. Non-quarterback, I would go with Kyle Pitts as well, like you guys, but to change it up, bro, give me Devonta Smith. Who else is going to catch passes on the Eagles, bro?
Dude, Jalen Hurts, I just don't. That offensive line, man, I just don't see it.
You know what? No, don't get me wrong. I understand that, but I don't know who else is going to catch passes.
No, you're right about that. Yeah.
So who? I mean, you're going to give it to Travis Fulgham again? Like this is what we're doing. So I'll give me Devonta Smith, and then over on the defensive side, you know, Dustin, you showed love to the Pats, bro. I'm gonna show love to your Brownies though. Give me JOK. I think he's going to come. I think he was a first round talent anyway. And then
I don't disagree.
He falls into the draft, into the second round. He's about to come out and say, really? Y'all let me slide all the way down to like what, 56?
Really?
I think it was 56 that they got him. No. Oh, no. He's going to come out and be a baller. But with that being said, CJ, I know you got a brand new little thing you came up with, and I'm interested to hear about this.
Yeah, definitely new. It's called Heard You. It's like a little rant we could do, something that's on your mind throughout the week, NFL related. Definitely want to get you guys a part of it as well. If you have anything to say. For me, my thing is just from the media, just talking about, you know, trying to like, I don't want to say like, I don't want to go brainwash, but I just want to say like kind of like persuade us to think like mobile QBs, they keep pushing that narrative throughout for the entire draft. They kept pushing the narrative. At the end of the day, if your quarterback can't make enough plays in the pocket, it doesn't matter how mobile your QB is, because the quarterback is not a running back. As much as it doesn't matter how mobile they are, they want to take as less hits as possible. Look at Patrick Mahomes, clear-cut example last year. Yeah, he was mobile enough to run away from getting hit, but he didn't want to get hit, and that's ultimately
and he lost.
Exactly.
That's why he lost the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That's why he lost
100%. And you know, everybody kind of knocked Mac because he didn't have the athleticism. But as long as it's up to the team and it's up to the coaches to put those 5 guys in front of the quarterback to protect that guy 100%. The pocket passer, I don't feel like the pocket passer is a
dead.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dying breed. I still think it's there.
It's not dead.
You have to be able to make the right reads in the pocket and make plays. Because on the flip side, we see Lamar Jackson, who was very mobile, one of the most explosive quarterbacks we've seen from running the football, but also has struggled in the pocket and making enough plays to get his team and take his team to the next step. So they want to push the narrative and say mobile QBs this, mobile QBs that, cool. But
so CJ, I have a really, since we're talking about Lamar Jackson, I actually have a really good question. So they're adding weapons around him. So I really think the Ravens are pretty dedicated about trying to get him better at throwing the football. If they put good weapons around him, if they make an offense that's formidable, which I think they already have. I don't think that offense is bad.
Right.
But if they put the real weapons around him that can really catch the ball, that can run, spread the play, due to his style, if he fails again and can't win more than the playoff game or loses again in the playoff first round, can we, even though he has an MVP, just like Cam Newton, can we really have a conversation that he's in the elite quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's a very fair argument, very fair discussion. I feel like Cam Newton is a perfect example. He relied so much on his athleticism early in his career and was never able enough to succeed and get his throwing mechanics right in the pocket when he was younger. Had he done that, I feel like he'd still be a high caliber quarterback right now. I feel like Lamar should definitely look at that and clean up his mechanics a little bit. And because at the end of the day, if he wants to get that bag, that $40 to $45 million annual raise a year, he's gonna be able to have to be able to clean that up. And those are gonna be some key discussions. I'm pretty sure the Ravens are looking at that as well. I'm pretty sure they're talking within their front office and trying to see if he could take that. Now, yes, he won the MVP, but he has another level he can go, and that's being successful in the pocket.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I mean look at our quarterback situation in Buffalo. I mean, with Josh Allen, his first 2 years,
exactly,
he was making plays out of the pocket, throwing on the run, and scrambling, making plays with his legs. And
then he just balled the fuck out when he had the chance, man.
I mean, granted, Stephon Diggs is a huge.
Oh yeah.
Huge for us, for him. But I mean, he really developed that pocket presence and worked on that, and knew that was one of the missing elements of his game to take him to the next level. And they really stressed that upon him. He stressed it upon himself. So like, okay, I got to be better in the pocket. I got to be able to step back and make these early reads early, as opposed to just thinking with my legs and thinking moving on the run. So I definitely agree with what you're saying about that. The pocket passer isn't dead. It's just nice to have both dynamics when the pocket collapses and you can't move out the pocket and make a play that Lamar can, or that that Josh Allen can, or that Aaron Rodgers can. But
so,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Where I agree with that, wholeheartedly. It's really good to have a guy who's a great pocket passer that can move and can shift, and that's just a gift. Like, that's not like you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every guy's like that. You might have a great pocket passer that can't run away from a defensive end or a linebacker who can run a 4.6 or run a 4.4.
Right.
It's not realistic almost in the NFL unless you have elite speed. So therefore, like, I wholeheartedly agree, man. The pocket passer's not dead, dude. You have to be able to stand in there. Like, these guys are too athletic. They're gonna chase you down. They're going to get you eventually. So therefore, like the pocket passer just is not dead. Lamar Jackson has to learn
Bro,
how
here's my
to stand
thing.
there.
You start arguing against the pocket passer too,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
bro. Give me the top 5 best quarterbacks of all time. Name one of them that's mobile. I'll give you 20
Yeah.
minutes.
I mean, you could
Montana,
throw.
Montana
I
was
mean, you might be able to throw Aaron Rodgers in the.
all right.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers
But-
is a perfect example.
Yeah, Rodgers.
We got Rodgers top 5.
I think
He's
so.
he's in
Top
my,
five
he's in my,
easily.
he's in my top 5.
Easily.
He's not my
And we
top
did the
5.
Super Bowl champion.
All
Super
right, let me not.
Bowl champion. 3-time
But when
MVP.
see, here's my
Easy.
thing though. Here's my thing though. When I say mobile, I look at more like a Lamar type of thing, Cam type of thing.
Oh, But that's at least
Kyler,
speed. Like, we're not talking about mobility here. We're talking about speed. That is
Right,
speed. That's running
Yeah.
back speed.
Like that's what I feel like they're trying to push on us though. I feel like they're trying to say if you don't have that type of quarterback, you're lost now.
But that's wrong. That's wrong.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I
Mac
think it is
Jones.
wrong.
That's like when people talk about Mac Jones. I know you don't like the pick, but Mac Jones is not slow. Like the dude can run, man. I mean, he can get out.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He can
Like,
get out.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think a
Sleeping
running
Dustin.
quarterback. I think you want a pocket quarterback that can get out of the way. I don't think you want a running quarterback who doesn't know what to do in the pocket, like Cam didn't know what to do after he lost his leg.
Aaron
Like what I think
Rodgers.
Lamar is going to do after he loses his legs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my thing. I've never been the biggest Lamar guy.
Aaron Rodgers is the cornerstone of that opinion. The cornerstone. If he can move, roll out a little bit, make a far play. Russell Wilson
Yeah, him
is
and
still a
Mahomes and
good
Russell
pocket
Wilson.
passer.
John Elway
They're
was the
still
OG,
very good
bro.
pocket
John
passers.
Elway was the OG.
John Elway, that's the reason he won Super Bowls, because you didn't do with him. He had a good run game, and the dude could throw the football.
Steve
You
Young
had no
too.
choice.
Steve Young can move. Like
That West Coast offense. If you got a mobile QB in that West Coast offense, that's why I think that's
gotta
why Shanahan,
utilize it.
that's why Shanahan took Trey Lance.
Right.
But it just depends. To me, it depends how you act. So, people say Tua is slow. See, the reason Tua looks slow is because he tries to act like he can outrun somebody. That is a problem. If he tries to outrun these athletic 230-pound guys who are athletic freaks, he's going to get killed. But if he learns how to just dance in the pocket, step up, roll out a little bit, and make an extra play that's not exactly planned, he can be successful. But do not try to outrun these guys. You know you're not fast enough. There's only a few guys who can do that. Lamar Jackson, Trey Lance might actually be able to do that. And as much as I don't like the guy, I really don't, but he's fast enough to outrun some guys in the corner. And he really is. He probably could do that. But Mac Jones and quarterbacks who are not 4.4 speed shouldn't be deemed as they're not athletic, because that's just a lie. They just can't outrun corners they can't outrun athletic guys to the corner. But you shouldn't expect a quarterback to do that. In what world do you expect your fucking quarterback to outrun a corner?
It's gonna
In
come
what
down to a point
world?
where you gotta beat those athletic guys on defense with your mind at the end of the day.
No, absolutely. I think this was a great discussion, though. Honestly, we'll end it there, I think. But CJ, I like this little thing, bro. I like this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for all the guests that come on the hard cut with me and Connie, if you got something on your chest, just let us.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, say it
As
with your
Kevin
chest.
Hart said. As Kevin Hart said. But with that being said, want to shout out the sponsors one more time before we head on out. Long episode. I appreciate everybody staying around. Dustin for coming in late. Even being late, it's still been a minute. Nick, you've been here the whole time, so shout out you as well. But I'll thank the sponsors before we head on out. So MyBookie.ag, USM 100 will double your first deposit. If you want to bet, do it there. NBA players are coming up. NHL playoffs are coming up. MLB is going crazy right now, so check it out. There's plenty of stuff to bet on. Head over to RxHemp. RxHemp-USM will save you 10% on your entire order. So head on over there and get some CBD creams. You'll feel brand new when you wake up in the morning. Next up, we have the Teespring shop. That is where we funnel all of our merch through. So if you want to support the network or support an individual show, head on over to the Teespring shop, buy something, support the fam. And then speaking of that support, we have our Patreon where $1 you're supporting us, $5 you get entered into an Amazon gift card giveaway. You get 10% off that store I just told you about. And then you also get entered into an Amazon. Wait, did I say the Amazon gift card giveaway?
Yeah, you said it.
All right. You get access to our Discord, I should say. Listen, there's a lot of stuff going on through this head. And then that $10 tier is everything I just said, except the 10% discount goes to $20, and you get access to our signed memorabilia giveaway each month. This month is a signed Ricky Williams miniature helmet. So if that is something that interests you, piques your brain, listen, 10 beans and you got it. Maybe, possibly. But with that being said, Dustin, I'll let you go first, followed by Nick, obviously. What you got for everybody before we head on out?
Guys, I was on Twitter at No Central Sports. You can get me, if you guys want to. Highly thankful just to be on these shows and be with these guys, man. Like, we argue about sports all the time, but these are really great guys. Highly thankful that I'm here. I think I could talk to them on a daily basis. So therefore, please follow everything that they're telling me to, man. Please tune in. I'm happy you guys are here viewing. So let's get it.
Yes, sir, Nick.
Once again, thanks to CJ, Connie for having me on. Always fun time talking. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, PROD Caviar. I make beats. I make food.
Yo, let me tell you, bro. That name is so tough, bro.
Yo, Beats and Eats coming soon.
That name is so tough.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, thanks again for having me on. Always love, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for joining us this week. It's a lot of content. Follow me on Twitter. Handle is right there. Twitch, CJ versus the World. Trying to do some wagers, get my money back. Garda Podcast, NBA playoffs about to start up. About to start putting some content out for that as well. So look out for that. Look out for all the podcasts. Like Dustin said, look out for everybody from the Unwrapped Sports family. It's blessed to be a part of this every single week.
Yes, sir. As for me, you guys know what it is by now. Monday is Generational Sports at 7 Eastern. Tuesday, obviously, me and CJ do this. Always a good time. Thursday's Backstop Banter, everything baseball. So check out all of that. Twitter, Anthony Conover _ for my personal, and then Gen Z Sports for one of my shows. The Twitch is Anthony _ Conover. Again, I put all of the podcasts on there. Gotta start getting back into the gaming stuff, especially with the show being out now. Listen, I'm trash. I'm not gonna lie, I'm garbage. But if you want to see me get mad, it's always a good time.
Hey CJ, do you play 2K on PS4, dude?
Yeah, on PS4.
Bro, add me.
I got you.
Yeah, we both do. We both do.
We both do.
Add me, bro. Get y'all, man. I'm trying to get a squad. I'm tired of these scrubs. So therefore,
It's in the stars, man.
We got Celtics Nation in here.
Oh,
but
yes. Shout out Henny.
Oh, that was him?
Peyton Pritchard. Shout out Peyton Pritchard, man.
But and obviously shout out Wild Cheese, aka Matt and Kayla, for coming on earlier too. They had
the football podcast talk about the Celtics Nation.
But shout out Wise Cheese and Kale. They had to go, take care of some stuff. They had to dip out a little early, but that's A-okay. But we will see you guys next time. Same time as always. Me and CJ will see you guys next week, 9 Eastern. Catch you.